all out them pint bottles out Granny crib. I poured so much I ain't want to live. Told money then, shit we in the wind. I was in the hood when I clipped the bin. Since a young nigga I been ready. Went glass house on every Chevy. In this game I tried plenty settings. It's all or nothing. How niggas been. Got sucker niggas, keep suckers with them. One of the reasons I ain't fucking with them. Trish Tech and some more than her. Guess she couldn't even afford a winner. I'm open late, don't need a scale, and it's always over. Sneak wishing well, I double down, slick shit to spell. Shawty no on, kiss and tell. I'm faded, 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 faded. I'm faded, 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 faded. Hell, I'm faded, 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 faded. I'm faded, 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 faded.
Alright.
My same, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. How we're moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spends the night, she pack a bag, right to me, just getting gas. Coming back, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first, eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean. Temporary feelings mixed with temporary pleasures. All these temporary moments and these temporary treasures. Temporary circumstances to temporary measures. Temporary friends and even temporary schedules. Temporary smiles and temporary goals. Temporary women sliding on temporary poles. Temporary comments and temporary trolls. I just pray that God bless me. Ain't no temporary souls. I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. How we're moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spends the night, she pack a bag, right to me, just getting gas. Coming back, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first, eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube. Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Y'all ready, chat? Oh, man. Double tap the screen, shut alive out. What we doing tonight, chat? Double tap the screen, shut alive out. What we doing tonight, chat? We got Trump puts the world on notice with Maduro. Colombia next. Greenland may be annexed and Iran leader plans. What's up, Too Strong, Purple, Groovy, Marvin? What we doing, chat? Double tap the screen, shut alive out. We got an action-packed episode on tonight. We do have an action-packed episode on tonight. What do we got going on, chat? What do we got going on, man? Let's get to it. Oh, they still in the Discord chilling. We're gonna talk about Maduro, man. We're gonna talk about Maduro. We're also gonna talk about the deal that the U.S. has struck with South Korea, the Department of Defense, South Korea, for this new smeltering. Is it smeltering? Yeah, it's smeltering. Hold on, chat. Wow, that's crazy. Where is it? Okay, but yeah, it's for the it's a collaboration with Korean Zinc. The U.S. secures silver smelter deal to process latinum metals. It's financed by J.P. Morgan and jointly owned by the Department of Defense, man. So that's going to be big news coming on today. Also, we have Iran's supreme leader talking about fleeing to Moscow amid these riots and this uprising breaking out. We got Marco Rubio sitting down over there with Meet the Press. I think Hakeem Jeffries went over there, sat down with Meet the Press as well. Trump is still Denmark is coming out issuing statements regarding Greenland and the Kingdom of Denmark. Elon saying that we've reached singularity. Alex Jones is coming out saying why he believes Trump really invaded Venezuela. We're going to get into all of that, chat. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. Call your auntie, uncle, and your cousin, tell them plug live, and he running his mouth, chat. Whether you just now waking up or getting ready to go to bed, man, double tap the screen. Let's get into this Alex Jones first, man. While we wait on some people to get in here, let's get into the Alex Jones first, man. Then we'll wrap this back around to the smelter.
At about 1:35 Eastern Time on Saturday, January 3rd, 2026, President Trump ordered precision military operations and extraction of Maduro, the dictator of Venezuela, and his wife. Not one U.S. serviceman died. Not one piece of equipment was even damaged. The level of coordination is just, quite frankly, frightening. Now, let's separate that for now and come back to it later. I have, in 31 years, never supported any offensive military operations in the U.S. because it's all been for globalism.
I'm just going to be all the way honest with you. Right now, with this new Monroe Doctrine 2.0, Trump secured Venezuela. He says Greenland's next. And with this smeltering center, it's already done. The deal is done. The smeltering center's coming. It's going to go to Tennessee. Venezuela is rich in natural resources. So what this tells me is it's going to leave it wide open to Taiwan. Taiwan's going to be wide open. It's done. I told you guys before, the $1 billion we gave to Taiwan for the defense budget and the 1.5 we gave to the Philippines, that's it. That's all. Trump secured the minerals we needed. I believe that was with Uganda on last month. And now we have Venezuela. And as well, we have the Department of Defense, Department of War getting a 40% stake in this new smeltering, facility. Let's get into it. A $7.4 billion investment to construct a large-scale non-ferrous metal smelter in Clarksville, Tennessee, a project U.S. officials say will materially expand domestic critical minerals processing capacity and strengthen supply chain security. We're going to get actually into it later because I did do some research and they're using funding from the Pentagon. The Pentagon is going to control 40% of this bad boy. The South Korean company is going to control up to 10% at some things, but they are also using money from the CHIPS Act, money that was allocated for the CHIPS Act. That's why I'm steadfast on Taiwan. It might be over with, man. It might be all the way over with. But let's finish with what Alex Jones has to say. We'll get into all of that in a minute. I'm going to pull up my notes, and we'll deep dive in a minute.
It's all been for the rules-based order. So for those of you out there that actually want to understand what's happening, it's a fact what's going on. You can make a decision about whether it's right or wrong. But the rules-based
Kenzie,
order
what it do?
The Rockefellers and the Rothschilds via the UN. And it means the UN and this whole global body decides when nation states can defend themselves and what they can do. And President Trump has said he's going back to the Monroe Doctrine. Even before that, Thomas Jefferson's doctrine of the Barbary Wars, the Barbary Pirates. Venezuela was the richest nation per capita in our hemisphere until about 30 years ago. Then they got socialist in 26 years ago, who were really communists. And it became a total hellhole. And they ran Smartmatic and Dominion, and all of it were the piggy bank for the Democrats, the CIA. They ran the Mexican drug cartels, and they were basically in cahoots with Cuba. So this move is not a neocon war. We're off, blow up the Middle East, you're doing all that, or start a world Russia. It's about hemispherically, under the Monroe Doctrine and under U.S. policy before the age of the globalists, George Herbert Walker Bush. It's about going back to that. So Thomas Jefferson would have gone to war with Venezuela. He would have had a blockade. He would have blocked the drug boats. But it wasn't about the drug boats. That was just Trump's legalese, saying it's law enforcement. This was bigger than 1990 and Manuel Noriega, who was a CIA drug dealer and wouldn't pay them their cuts, so George Walker Bush invaded all the rest of that. No, this was about the U.S. exercising its territorial control in this hemisphere. It was about ending the rules-based order and letting the world know the U.S. is standing up for its own sovereignty and control of this hemisphere, which under globalism was undermined by design Jimmy Carter, and then Obama, finally handing over the Panama Canal, and so much more. So the United States has been put in a very bad position on the verge of collapse. And Trump, in an emergency operation with the tariffs, everything else he's done securing the borders, and this military operation in Venezuela, has brought the U.S. stock up in the world everywhere and let the world know that we're not going to just go bye-bye like the CFR has wanted and have this Chinese communist century that replaces America as the world superpower. And look, I don't want America to be an empire, but if we end world dollarization, we will be in the worst depression you've ever seen, basically forever. And that was the plan. So those of you rooting against President Trump have no idea what it would mean if his operations fail. And he's barely winning on all the major fronts he's fighting. And that's what's scary. If you have any idea how dangerous the situation would be if we just sat back and allowed all these multinational powers through BlackRock and the globalists to divide and conquer our country, it'd be over. They had a clear pivot strategy.
All right, Alex Jones ranting a little bit, man. We're gonna move on from what Alex Jones is talking about. Let's get in. Where's Rubio at? What the hell did Rubio say, man? What the hell did Rubio say? We'll pull up Rubio and then I'll get into that about the silver, because when it comes to the silver, the smeltering facility with the silver, it's like, man, we just seen JP Morgan Chase, what was it, a couple years ago? They just had the lawsuit for manipulating the silvers market. Now we see them right back in the mix, man. We see the paper, what was it, Comex silver was trading at $71, but in Japan and Philippines and the other places, hell we got asked, but Japan and I believe it was Philippines and other places, physical silver was actually trading at about $110 to $130. So it's just crazy to me that JP Morgan Chase
Secretary of State Marco
back has their hand in the damn pot with these the smeltering facility down there in Tennessee. So all of the raw minerals, oil, metals, precious metals, minerals, or whatever, it's gonna come in raw. They're gonna ship shit to Tennessee. Tennessee's gonna get to pick through it, and then it's gonna be refined, or I guess ready to go materials. So what does that tell me, man? It's gonna be some hands in that pot, man. Before everything's all counted up and everything's all accounted for, man, it's gonna be some hands in that pot. The Pentagon has about a 40% stake in that bad boy, so they're gonna get theirs. The Korean company has a 10% stake in certain whatever's going. I don't even know what Venezuela is going to get a kickback for. But the whole thing was they didn't want the Chinese influence. They didn't want all of this stuff being refined in China, because China, like we said, they'll probably go through and take Taiwan. But China's AI chips, like everybody talks about China's chips and shit, China's chips are pretty damn good from the research that I've done, but they're good for AI. They're not really good for general use, such as apps, phones, computers, tablets, and shit like that. But when it comes to singular task and AI, they say China's chips are pretty good. So maybe that'll put a damper on them from getting those minerals as well, plus the $60 billion that China's in Venezuela for in loans. They are in them for about $60 billion. Let's see what Rubio's talking about over here on Meet the Press. Double tap the screen, shut the live out, chat. I know I came live a little bit late. We a little shadow banned and shit, so I need everybody to double tap the screen, share the live out. We're 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. We go live every single day talking politics, current events, and entertainment. Do you support regime change in Venezuela? Press 1. We haven't even got into what happened with the new president yet. They said the new president, the woman, she's not what we thought she was gonna be, man. They said she's a regime loyalist. They're alleging that she's already went to Moscow to see what was up with Putin, man. They're saying that she's still demanding Maduro's immediate release, and she has some steadfast military men around her that is loyal to the regime as well. So they're saying if she bends the knee, bows the knee to Trump, they'll turn on her in an instant. So maybe this is what Trump wanted. Maybe this was the long-term play, was to put her in there, put her feet to the damn fire, like, hey, you're going to get down with this new Monroe Doctrine 2.0. Let us come pillage your country, do whatever the hell we need to do to get stability back over there, man. Or you gonna buck, and if you buck, Trump already said, look, we'll go in, man. What he say? I'm not scared of boots on the ground, none of that, man. go back in, and then they'll do what? Probably put the lady that wants to cut the $1.7 trillion deal with the oil anyway, or the opposition leader. Yeah, that's the lady I'm talking about, the opposition leader. Let's see what Rubio is talking about, though.
Rubio, Secretary Rubio.
And we're not going to act like controlling Venezuela is not an option. Like, what was the general's name? Douglas MacArthur. Douglas MacArthur controlled Japan from 45 to 52. Douglas MacArthur controlled Japan from 45 to 52. They called him the Supreme Commander for the Allied powers. Harry S. Truman is the one who appointed him, and he ran Japan. He was in control of Japan from 45 to 52. So when people whisper and rumble and say, send Rubio over there to control Venezuela, hey, the shit could happen, man. He might have let the vice president take reins. So it could be like that, man. To potentially appoint somebody to control Venezuela for 5 to 7 to 10 years, to where we can pillage their country, man. That's what it's looking like to me. I'm just gonna be all the way honest. That's what it's looking like to me. Looking like they put the VP there, knowing the VP will be in a tough position. She's a 20-year regime loyalist. She's bilingual. She speaks, I believe, their native language and French. She's been 20 years of loyalty is what they're calling for. And they're saying the people that they have around her, the military leader, they're trying to grasp what's left of the Venezuelan military and rule it with the iron fist. You know, she's demanding the immediate release of Maduro. Putin's demanding the immediate release of Maduro. She's demanding the immediate release of Maduro, and they're alleging she went over there to meet with went to Moscow. We'll put it that way. They're alleging she went to Moscow. So now that I'm just sitting back running it, it seems like the play, man. And whispers are going around that they might send this dude right here over there to hold down Venezuela, man, for a while. Hold down Venezuela for a while.
Rubio, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. I want to start with this big picture question. Is the United States
what it do?
at war with Venezuela?
Big Niche, what it do?
Or, I mean, what?
Okay, Chad. So, I need everybody to double tap the screen. We have to get the likes up in here. We have to get the likes up. We finna have a good night tonight, Chad. I'm on some XO, man. Not the drug, the liquor. I'm on the liquor. I'm on some liquor tonight, Chad. I really don't even drink like that, but I'm on some liquor tonight. We finna have a good night, man. Double tap the screen. Let's get this shit out here. You said you demand the release of who? Of Leprechaun. Oh, I thought you was finna say Maduro, man. Listen, I don't know nothing about Leprechaun, man. Listen, Maduro ass is not about to get released, man. He's not about to get released, man. His ass is finna go to Florence, man. He's finna go to Florence, Colorado, live out the rest of his damn days. But as of right now, they got the vice president over there, and Trump said he made it seem like the vice president was gonna be a good lady, but maybe that was the play to be able to appoint somebody.
But so we are at war against drug trafficking organizations, not a war against Venezuela. We are enforcing American laws with regards to oil sanctions. We have sanctioned entities. We go to court. We get a warrant. We seize those boats with oil, and that will continue. So clear, and we would continue to reserve the right to take strikes against drug boats that are bringing drugs towards the United States that are being operated by transnational criminal organizations, including the Cartel de los Sols.
What's going on, How to Live?
The leader of that cartel is now in U.S. custody and facing U.S. justice in
What's up, Dana?
the District of New York, and that's Nicolas Maduro. So we made a big progress in that regard.
Mr. Secretary.
Chad, they're saying the judge that's ruling over Maduro's case is a Clinton-appointed judge, 92 years old. Oh, my God, man. God, 92 years old, man. She don't know what the fuck, or whoever is 92 don't know what the hell is going on, man. Not enough, man. This shit is the biggest damn case since like El Chapo and all of them, man. Like, and we're gonna sit here and let a 92-year-old make the damn call, man. Listen, whoever this judge is at 92 years old, man, is probably just there to get the damn check. I'm not going to lie to you. At 92 years old, what do you expect from him? Let's be honest, man. If you were working with a 92-year-old, what would you expect from him? If they fall asleep during something, it's like, damn, okay, they 92. If they show up late, it's like, okay, damn, they 92. If they misread something, it's like, okay, damn, they 92. If they need to take a late lunch, it's like, okay, damn, they 92. If they make a really bad mistake on a case, it's like, okay, man, damn, they 92. What the hell is a 92-year-old doing presiding over the biggest case of the year so far? So far this year. Last year we had Diddy shit. This year we got Maduro, man. What the hell is a 92-year-old doing over this, man? Like a Clinton appointed lawyer, man. When Clinton came into office, I was just now being born and shit. What's going on?
Who is in charge? Are you running Venezuela right now?
Yeah, I mean, I keep people.
Yeah. What's going on? Are you running Venezuela right now? Yeah. What? I want you to try to clean this shit up. Man said, yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, I mean, I keep people, fixating on that. Here's the bottom line on it is we expect to see changes in Venezuela. Changes of all kinds, long-term, short-term. We'd love to see all kinds of changes. But the most immediate changes are the ones that are in the national interest of the United States. That's why we're involved here, because of how it applies and has a direct impact on the United States. Okay, we are not going to be able to allow in our hemisphere a country that becomes a crossroads for the activities of all of our adversaries around the world. We just can't allow it. We can't have a country where the people in charge of its military and in charge of its police department are openly cooperating with drug trafficking.
Man, listen, chat. I paused this shit to really... I was waiting on Rubio to say something. Rubio didn't deny shit. She said, what's going on? Are you in control of Venezuela right now? He said, yeah, a lot of people or whatever. And he just glossed right over this shit, man. I'm telling y'all, man, they might be ready for this VP to do something. They on some shit like, look, man, either you gonna fall in line, kiss the damn ring, man, or we finna come over there and put Rubio in your spot, lady. I'm sorry, chat. This is what I'm seeing, chat. I'm here. I'm listening to this shit. The lady's calling for the immediate release of Maduro. She's not doing what the hell we thought was finna go on. We thought she was finna, hey, okay, well, I thought she sold Maduro ass out. I thought she took the 50 million. I'm just gonna be honest. I thought she took the 50 million, sold them out. Now she's over there all gung-ho talking about this shit's not going on and we demand the immediate release of Maduro. They're alleging she's flying to Moscow and shit. They ask Rubio, are you running Venezuela? And he don't say no. What the hell is going on, chat? Listen, this shit was not on my calendar, bro.
We are not going to be able to allow in our hemisphere a country that becomes a crossroads for the activities of all of our adversaries. But the most immediate changes are the ones that are in the national. I mean, I keep people, fixating on that. Here's...
Mr. Secretary, who is in charge? Are you running Venezuela right now?
Yeah, I mean, I keep people, fixating on that. Here's the bottom line on it is we expect to see changes in Venezuela. Changes of all kinds, long-term, short-term.
Yeah, I keep people fixated on that right now. I keep people fixated on that right now. Bottom line is, it's some changes finna come to Venezuela. Man, listen, man. Shit, man, listen. Rubio, this might be your early damn Christmas gift or something. It's crazy. They gifting countries out here right now, chat? Are we watching the countries being gifted, man? Like, look, man, Rubio, Vance is going to be on the ticket in 2028. You know what I'm saying? Vance is going to be doing his thing 2028. You might not be VP, but look, we can put you over here. You can be, what did they call the guy? What was the general? General Douglas MacArthur, who controlled Japan, was called the Supreme Commander. You can go over here and be Supreme Commander of Venezuela for about 5 to 7 to 10 years while we pillage this motherfucker. And then, you can come back and we'll talk. We'll talk, man. What the hell is going on?
We'd love to see all kinds of changes, but the most immediate changes are the ones that are in the national interest of the United States. That's why we're involved here, because of how it applies and has a direct impact on the United States. Okay, we are not going to be able to allow in our hemisphere a country that becomes a crossroads for the activities of all of our adversaries around the world. We just can't allow it. We can't have a country where the people in charge of its military and in charge of its police department are openly cooperating with drug trafficking organizations. We're not going to allow that. These things are direct threats to the United States, and we intend to use every element of leverage that we have to ensure that that changes. The one I would point everyone to is that our military is helping the Coast Guard conduct a law enforcement function, which is not just the capture of Maduro, but the enforcement of our sanctions. We go to court, we get a warrant, we seize the boats. And we think this is tremendous.
Man, how to live with a smile. We'll talk about Iran when we get to that part of the show. Right now, we talking about Marco Rubio. We're still finna talk about the silver smelters. We got a few things to talk about with this Maduro situation before we even get to Iran. We heard about the supreme leader. He's getting ready to flee to Moscow as well. It looks like they might all be fucking meeting up. The new Venezuelan president, the Iranian supreme, they might all get ready to meet up in Maduro. It's looking like it's I forgot what the markets were saying. The markets priced it in. The chances of the supreme leader being out of power by the end of this year shot up today. So yeah, we'll talk about that later though.
Leverage, incredible, crippling leverage, which we intend to continue to use until we see the changes that we need to see that are benefit to the American people, and by the way, we believe to the people of Venezuela as well.
But Mr. Secretary, I think there's a lot of questions about who the point people are during this transition. President Trump said we're going to run the country. So is it you? Is it Secretary Hegseth? Who are those people who will be running the country specifically?
Well, it's not running, it's running policy. The policy with regards to this. We want Venezuela to move in a certain direction because not only do we think it's good for the people of Venezuela, it's in our national interest. It either touches on something that's a threat to our national security or touches on something that's either beneficial or harmful.
And are you involved in that transition,
So obviously
Secretary?
I'm very involved in this. Well, of course. I mean, I think everyone knows I'm pretty involved on politics in this hemisphere. Obviously, as Secretary of State and National Security Advisor, very involved in all these elements. The Department of War plays a very important role here, along with the Department of Justice, for example, because they're the ones that have to go to court. So this is a team effort by the entire national security apparatus of our country, but it is running this policy. And the goal of the policy is to see changes in Venezuela that are beneficial to the United States, first and foremost, because that's who we work for, but also, we believe, beneficial for the people of Venezuela, who have suffered tremendously. We want a better future for Venezuela, and we think a better future for the people of Venezuela also is stabilizing for the region and makes the neighborhood we live in a much better and safer place.
President Trump said the administration is working with Maduro's Vice President, Delcy Rodriguez. Why does the administration oppose working with the opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado?
Because, man, if they put Maria, whoever, Machado over there, man, they can't do what the hell they want, man. I'm seeing the play. They want the vice president there, the one that's loyal to Maduro, the one that's been with the regime 20 years, the one that will probably cut her tongue out before she spoke out against this shit, man. They want her over there so they can get her the fuck out the way. They want her over there for a reason. A damn reason, man. Straight up, so they can come in and occupy this shit, man. Put a supreme leader in that bad boy, man, and pillage for about 7 to 10 years.
She's a Nobel Peace Prize winner, of course, as well. Her coalition has
7 to 10 years of pillaging, man. We'll probably have the chips and shit where they need to be, man. Let's just be all the way real. Let's be all the way real, man. We're coming up out of Taiwan. China's about to take Taiwan. We have the CHIPS Act. They're allocating money from the CHIPS Act to go to the new smelter refinery in Tennessee for what? For the AI chips, for the silver, for the gold. Everything's gonna be refined there, man. That shit's finna come out of the ground in Venezuela and be on the damn boat on the way to Tennessee, man. Real talk. It's finna be out of the ground in Venezuela on the way, on the boat to Tennessee, man. And it's finna be over with, man.
has the support of 70% of Venezuela.
If you put that woman in there, she's a Nobel Peace Prize leader. She's going to negotiate. She's going to be really diplomatic, man. They're not going to be able to come in and put a stronghold on that bad boy, man. Stronghold on that bad boy. Chat, you know how when you get a drink, chat, you get you a fountain drink and you put the lid on the fountain drink and you stick that straw in there, man. That's what they finna do to Venezuela. You know how you get a fountain drink, chat, and they got the lid on it, and you stick the straw in there, man? That's what they finna do to Venezuela, man. I'm just gonna be all the way real. I can't sugarcoat this shit.
Venezuelans. Why not work with her?
Well, a couple things. First of all, Maria Corina Machado is fantastic, and she's someone I've known for a very long time, and the whole movement is. But we are dealing with the immediate reality. The immediate reality is that unfortunately, and sadly, but unfortunately, the vast majority of the opposition is no longer present inside of Venezuela. We have short-term things that have to be addressed right away. We all wish to see a bright future for Venezuela, a transition to democracy. All of these things are great, and we all want to see that. I've worked on that for 15 years on a personal level, both in the Senate and now as National Security Advisor and Secretary of State. These are things I still care about. We still care about. But what we're talking about is what happens over the next 2-3 weeks, 2-3 months, and how that ties to the national interest of the United States. And so we expect to see more compliance and cooperation than we were previously receiving. With Nicolas Maduro, you could not make a deal or an arrangement. Although he, by the way, was given very generous offers. He could have left Venezuela as recently as, a week and a half ago.
Now you lying, Rubio. You just said you couldn't make a deal with Rubio, but I just heard Trump say that, with Maduro, I just heard Trump say that Maduro was ready to cut a deal, but he didn't want to do one. Because he was pissed off about the dance Maduro was doing. Maduro was out there, doing his thing like, can't touch this type shit, man. And that pissed Trump off is what they're alleging. That's what they're whispering over there around the White House and shit, man. But now you saying that you couldn't cut a deal with Maduro. Trump just said that Maduro was ready to cut a deal. What the hell is going on, man? Thank you, Lori, for the $20 super chat, man. Y'all give Lori some likes, man, and some love on that $20 super chat, man. But yeah, he's saying that he wasn't ready to cut a deal, but we just listened to Trump say he was ready to cut a deal in the end. The hell?
There are opportunities available for him to avoid all of this because now he's not someone we can work with. He suckered the Biden administration into stupid deals. He's made a career out of not keeping deals and figuring out how to save himself by buying time. And President Trump was not going to fall into that trap. So now there are other people in charge of the military and police apparatus there. They're going to have to decide now what direction they want to go. And we hope they will choose a different direction than the one Nicolas Maduro picked. Ultimately, we hope this leads to a holistic transition all the way around in Venezuela, societal, political, all of that. We're in favor of all of that. But right now, we have to take the first steps. And the first steps are securing what's in the national interest of the United States and also beneficial to the people of Venezuela. And those are the things that we're focused on right now. No more drug trafficking, no more Iran, Hezbollah presence there, and no more using the oil industry to enrich all our adversaries around the world.
Hold on, let me read some comments. You said slave flag. Where the slave flag at, man? You talking about that one? That's an American flag. And that one over there, that's the Arkansas flag. I'm just going to be all the way honest with you. You said, welcome to the new American empire. You damn right, Doom. You damn right, Doom. You said budget. Trump pay himself. Said that she not being respected by her own people in North Dakota. Fight to be a leader. I don't know what you're talking about. Some people are all for it and they're not being invested in it for the rich. Okay, I don't know, man. Y'all comments kind of everywhere. I can't get a hold of them right
and
now.
Not benefiting the people of Venezuela or, frankly, benefiting the United States and the region.
You talk about a holistic transition. I think there's a lot of focus on potential elections. How soon will elections be held? Within 30 days, Mr. Secretary?
Elections? Well, look, this is a country that's been governed by this regime now for 14 or 15 years. The elections should have happened a long time ago. The elections did happen. They lost them, and they didn't count the votes, or they refused to count the votes, and everyone knows it. So all of that, I think, is premature at this point. There's a lot of work to be done here. Right now, what we are focused in, let's be realistic here, what we are focused on right now is all of the problems we had when Maduro was there. We still have those problems in terms of them needing to be addressed. We are going to give people an opportunity to address those challenges. and those problems. Until they address it, they will continue to face this oil quarantine. They will continue to face pressure from the United States. We will continue to target drug boats if they try to run towards the United States. We will continue to seize the boats that are sanctioned with court orders. We will continue to do that and potentially other things until the things we need to see addressed.
You see, now he says we will continue to seize the boats that are sanctioned. Why did the language change, chat? Because they got the damn oil. They got the damn oil. There's a resurfaced tweet going around. Trump tweeted in 2013 and said, I can't believe we left Iraq without the damn oil. He's not leaving Venezuela without the damn oil. That's why the language changed. That's why Rubio's saying that we're still going to go after those sanctioned tankers. Because every time they pull one of them bad boys over and bring it ashore, put it on the balance sheet, that's $200-300 million too, man. Listen. I'm just going to be all the way real, Chad. This is like Big Worm, man. Y'all remember when Big Worm on Friday, when Big Worm came around to collect and Smokey was counting his money 2-3 times, the same $200 2-3 times, man? That's what America's doing right now. America's coming around the hood like Big Worm wanting their damn money back. I'm not going to say Debo. Y'all thought I was going to say Debo just stealing shit. No, they're alleging that this is old, right? So this more like Big Worm. This more like Big Worm, you know what I'm saying? Straight up, chat. America wants that shit.
Are addressed. Because ultimately, above everything else, we care about elections, we care about democracy, we care about all of that. But the number one thing we care about is the safety, security, well-being, and prosperity of the United States. And that's what we're going to focus on first and foremost here. And that's what these policies, these changes we need to see made are about.
Okay, significant there. You say you will continue.
So those chat, Debo really didn't, Debo got hit with a brick. Think about what Big Worm did. Big Worm sent them hitters out there. Big Worm, they got in the shootout. All about $200. Remember, it was about $200. Big Worm sent them. He pulled up on the block, asked for his money, right? America been asking with the tariffs going back and forth, you know what I'm saying? Then he sent them hitters out there, man. Whole shootout, man. That's what was going to see. Debo was just stealing and, beating people up and shit like that, man. Nah, this some Big Worm shit, man. Because America, as Trump and his cabinet and what's going on right now, they feel like they're old, man. This shit is old. It's not just stealing. Debo didn't feel like he was old shit. Debo was just stealing. Big Worm felt like he was old and he was willing to do the ultimate about that $200, man.
Seize boats when necessary. I want to ask you about boots on the ground. A lot of attention on that. The president was asked about the possibility of U.S. boots on the ground. He said, quote, "We're not afraid of it." How many U.S. forces are on the ground right now in Venezuela? Are there any?
We don't have U.S. forces on the ground in Venezuela. No, we don't have U.S. forces on the ground. Everyone knows. They were on the ground for about 2 hours when they went to capture Maduro. And I think what the president is saying is very simple, and that is, as president of the United States, he is not going to go around telling people what he's not going to do. He's not going to...
See, that's what people miss on Friday. Everybody talk about how scary Debo was and what Debo did on Friday. They was really scared of Big Worm. I'm just going to be all the way honest with you. They was really scared. Big Worm, not only did Big Worm spin and shoot him up, he had some hitters with him. Big Worm was really the one that was on that in the neighborhood. If y'all want to be all to break it all the way down, Big Worm was probably really one of the only ones on that. Debo was beating people up and stealing and shit, man. Big Worm was trapping, shooting people, man. Big Worm was on that, man.
He's not going to go around saying, I won't do this, I won't do that. Yes,
ice cream truck.
But I'll only go so far. He retains all this optionality. In the particular case you're citing, this was, in essence, at its core, a law enforcement function. Okay, the Department of Justice, dating back in the Biden administration, that had a $25 million reward for his capture. So we have a reward for his capture, but we're not going to enforce it. That's the difference between President Trump and everybody else. It's easy to make a wanted poster and say $50 million for the capture of Maduro, but no one takes that seriously because you're not going to do anything about it. President Trump did something about it.
Let me ask you.
He did something about it. We went in, we grabbed him, he was arrested, and he's now in New York. No Americans were killed, no equipment was lost. It had to be done, and it's been done. And I assure you, the people left behind in Venezuela now that are in charge of the police and everything else, I assure you, they're going to probably be a lot more compliant than the...
So, what happens to all the guns the military passed out? Do the civilians still have those weapons? You remember we were seeing those videos and those pictures of the military passing out AKs and shit like that to the militias. Do they still got those? I'm just asking. Is that why they're saying Maduro was illegal weapons trafficking? Because he has the narco-terrorism charges. I want to know where the weapons trafficking come from. Is that from him passing out them guns to the militia?
Maduro was as a result.
They're talking about it was some old-ass law from like 1930 something. I don't know. They were saying his weapons charges come from some old-ass law. But I want to know, was it because he had a gun like on his person, or was it because they was passing that shit out, man, to the citizens in the militia?
President Trump told the New York Post there won't be troops in Venezuela as long as Delcy Rodriguez, quote, does what we want. She's already, though, demanding the release of Nicolas Maduro. As you know, she's insisting that her country never become a colony. What exactly does Rodriguez need to do to keep U.S. troops out of Venezuela?
That's the thing, too. They said none of Venezuela's technology worked. Trump said the city was blacked out and it was partially their fault, so obviously they cut the power some kind of way. They're also saying the Chinese and Russian-made defense systems, especially the one that was supposed to alert them when aircraft was in the way, it didn't alert them. So the mission was stealth. It was really stealth. And that goes back to Trump saying that we have some shit that people can't even see. Remember he said, I don't even know how they gas that bitch up. Or that bad boy, I don't even know how they gas it up. I'm just going to be real, Chad. I think Trump meant that shit. Now, whether it's invisible really or not invisible really, I think Trump really doesn't know how they gas that bitch up. I think he's really amazed with that shit. I think it's some technology out here that we really just don't know about.
Well, forget about the U.S. troops portion of it. What needs to happen for any of this to change, for our relations with Venezuela to change and our whole approach to it to change, the things we have talked about are the ones I've highlighted already. You can't flood this country with gang members. You can't flood this country with drugs that are coming out of Colombia through Venezuela with the cooperation of elements of...
Oh, yeah, Greenland. Y'all ass on the clock. Colombia. Also, Trump came out and issued a statement to Colombia like, hey, man, we're going to play that clip in a minute, man. Like, Colombia, I heard they sell a lot of drugs in Colombia, and they're not going to do it no more or else. So, Colombia, y'all ass on the clock. Listen, and I promise you, to the Mexican president, lady, Trump is trying his best to spare you right now. He's coming to you last, man, lady. Y'all ass on the clock, too. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be I'm just being completely honest, man. I read the documents, man. They want control of the Americas, man, and all this shit in the Western Hemisphere, man. Gotta come through D.C. And I'm just gonna be all the way. Maduro ass got kidnapped, man. He's in New York right now, waiting on trial, headed to Florence, over there in the Rockies. Colombia's president is on the fucking clock because they saying he sells a lot of coke and shit, man. His ass is on the clock. Greenland might fuck around and be annexed. I think the timeline is accelerated, man. They're not bullshitting right now. Mexico, lady, I'm just going to be all the way honest with you right now. It's looking like between now and whenever midterms is in November, Trump is on some kiss the ring shit to everybody over here in the West, man. It's either you going to get down or fucking lay down, man. I don't know how else to say it, man. And he's doing it all under the guise of narco-terrorism, man. He calling y'all ass terrorists, man. He's already labeled the shit terrorism, man. We got to listen to the language, man. Read between this shit. What did Rubio say, man? Not even Rubio. J.D. Vance came out today and made a tweet saying, yes, we know a lot of the drugs come from Mexico and we're going to be dealing with that. And we know y'all are saying it comes from another country. And listen, Mexico, y'all ass is on the clock too, man. Colombia's on the clock. Greenland is on the clock, man. These folks not bullshitting right now. Midterms is on the way, and they're not bullshitting. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Of your security forces, you can't turn Venezuela into the operating hub for Iran, for Russia, for Hezbollah, for China, for the Cuban intelligence agents that control that country. That cannot continue. Those things cannot continue to be in place. You cannot continue to have the largest oil reserves, in the world under the control of adversaries of the United States, not benefiting the people of Venezuela, and stolen by a handful of oligarchs around the world, including inside of Venezuela.
Listen, you could say not kidnapped dude got rid of an evil dictator, period. I don't know if this is your first time on this channel or not. If it is, welcome in. But when I get to talking my talk and get to breaking my shit down, making my predictions and my analysis and shit, sometimes I equate this shit to the streets. In the streets, we would call that kidnapping, man. Real talk, man. Trump got 3 baby mamas, 34 felonies, and will kidnap your fucking president, man. Real talk. If we gonna be all the way honest with it, if we are gonna be 34 felonies, 3 baby mamas, billions of dollars, and will kidnap your fucking president, man. Let's be honest.
Venezuela, but not benefiting the people of that country. We've seen how our adversaries all over the world are exploiting and extracting resources from Africa, from every other country. They're not going to do it in the Western Hemisphere. They're not. That is not going to happen under President Trump. Read our national security strategy. He is serious about it, and he's going to do something about it, and we're doing something about it.
Let me ask you about oil. The president says the U.S. is taking over.
So they're not playing about Trump. They serious about this shit. Am I a leftist? No. I'm just keeping it all the way real. I'm just going to keep... See, y'all think when I say he got 3 baby mamas and 34 felonies, that's a bad thing. I was a fucking felon, bro. I had to get my record sealed, man. I'm telling y'all how this shit go on the streets, man. Trump, 34 felonies, 3 baby mamas, man, and will kidnap your fucking president, man. If we gonna be honest, some gangster shit. I just seen the White House make a post the other day, and after they captured Maduro, they put the Biggie Small song behind it talking about nigga. The White House official page is posting lyrics on their Twitter feed with nigga on it. Like, let's be real. And y'all want to be mad at me? Come on, man. Let's not do this shit tonight, Chad. Let's not tonight, man. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe next week.
The purpose of the operation was to capture Maduro and bring him to justice. Why does the United States need to take over the Venezuelan oil industry?
Need to. First of all, let me go back up. We don't need Venezuela's oil. We have plenty of oil in the United States. What we're not going to allow is for the oil industry in Venezuela to be controlled by adversaries of the United States. You have to understand, why does China need their oil? Why does Russia need their oil? Why does Iran need their oil? They're not even in this continent. This is the Western Hemisphere. This is where we live. And we're not going to allow the Western Hemisphere to be a base of operation for adversaries, competitors, and rivals of the United States.
Have specific oil...
Yeah, Chad, I'm just going to be all the way honest with y'all right now, man. Tonight's not a moral high ground to low ground stream. This is some gangster shit, man. No matter how you look at this shit, whether you think it's right, whether you think it's wrong, whether you think it should be going, this is some gangster shit, man. I'm just gonna be too honest with you, man. Right now, this is some gangster shit going on, man. 34 felonies, 3 baby mamas will kidnap your president. Will kidnap your president, man. Straight up, man.
So want to see
some
that
gangster shit, man.
From it. Hold on. We want to see the oil proceeds of that country benefit the people of Venezuela. Why have 8 million people left Venezuela? 8 million, the single largest mass migration probably in modern history, left Venezuela since 2014 because all the wealth of that country was stolen to the benefit of Maduro and his cronies in the regime, but not to the benefit of people of Venezuela. You know how destabilizing 8 million migrants is? The number one fear that Brazil has, that Colombia has, that all these countries in the region have about what's happening in Venezuela and our involvement is they're afraid of another mass.
This man, Matt, came in here and said, y'all glazing him for crumbs, bro. I'm not glazing Trump, but let's be fucking real. The man just hit a $17 trillion lick, bro. This shit is the biggest heist in history, man. $17 trillion lick, man. The man said we gonna control the oil, man. They saying it's $17 trillion worth of oil. Now I'ma keep it all the way honest with y'all, chat. I have watched a lot of movies to deal with the robbery, bank robberies, and shit like that, man. 17 trillion never crossed my fucking mind, man. Let's be real. What? He just took 17 trillion, man. Took that shit. It's over with, man. Said it was ours from some years ago, man. That's why I'm saying it's Big Worm, man. Big Worm hit the block, man. Yeah, I got some 20s around the corner. Let me get the rest of that, man. That's what Trump is on. Came back for that shit.
That's what they fear. This is deeply destabilizing stuff.
Now you saying we can't refine it. The shit that's coming out of Venezuela is supposed to be crude oil, right? It's supposed to be what, heavy crude? They say Texas and somewhere else can refine it. And that's what it's looking like. Texas and somewhere else can refine it. I don't know what the other state was, but when I looked it up, they said Texas and somewhere else can refine that shit. I'm just going to be all the way honest with you. Also, they said that they're going to put infrastructure over there, man. China already has the small refineries over there, so I don't know if that's going to be taken or they just going to move that shit the hell out the way and build some new shit. All they were touting yesterday was new infrastructure coming there, new infrastructure coming there, new infrastructure coming there, man. They finna build that shit, man. They finna build whatever the hell they need. It's finna go on. For $17 trillion, man, they're gonna pull that shit up out of the ground with their fingernails, man. They'll pull that shit up out the ground with some chopsticks if they have to, man. And we talking about $17 trillion. You talking about they can't refine it, man. It don't matter. This is $17 trillion worth of whatever, man. Somebody gonna buy that shit. Refined, unrefined, hot, cold. I don't give a fuck, man. We talking about 17 trillion worth of this shit. Dude. I don't know if you know how markets and shit go, from street markets to real markets, man. It's a supply and demand, man. And right now we got a chokehold on this shit, and that's what Trump is running around telling everybody. Between us and the strategic alliance we got with, who is that, Saudi Arabia, man, they're saying we control 50% of the oil market right now. 50%, man. That's half.
Not going to continue to happen. They are not going to come from outside of our hemisphere, destabilize our region in our own backyard, and us have to pay the price for it. Not under President Trump.
Let's talk big picture here. U.S. regime change, historically speaking, has not gone very well for the United States. In Iraq, in Libya, to name a few examples. Can you assure the people of the United States that this time will be different?
Well, here's what's happened. We've got this phobia built up and this sort of thing that's it's like, number one, most of the experts that people have on television, I watch these experts and it's clown hour. Okay, these are people that have focused their entire career on the Middle East or some other part of the world because that's where all the action was. Very few of them know anything about Venezuela or the Western Hemisphere. Venezuela looks nothing like Libya. It looks nothing like Iraq. It looks...
Chad, I'm going to give y'all another term that we use where I'm from. We have a term called "it's all working." Now, press 1 in the chat if you know what the term "it's all working" means. Press 2 if you do not know what the term "it's all working" means. I want to know, chat, do y'all know what the term, in the way that I'm going to use it, when I say "it's all working"? That means the oil, the natural minerals, the precious metals, the Panama Canal, the oil tankers, getting China and Russia the fuck up out of there, it's all working. It's all working. That means everything's moving, man. We'll take all of that shit is what America's saying. All of it, man. It's all working. That shit cool too. That shit cool too. Oh, you wanna get China and Russia? That shit cool too. You wanna get the precious metals and we're gonna refine them in Tennessee? That shit cool too. You wanna get the oil and refine it in Tech? That shit cool too. You wanna make this maritime dominant shit go on? Make sure we had a Panama Canal? That shit cool too, man. You looking at Greenland? Put a special envoy from Louis? That shit cool. It's all working. It's all working.
Nothing like Afghanistan. It looks nothing like the Middle East other than the Iranian agents that are running through there plotting against America. Okay? These are Western countries with long traditions among their at a people-to-people and cultural level and ties to the United States. So there's nothing like that. So I think people need to stop ascribing the apples and oranges here. The apples of the Middle East to the oranges of the Western Hemisphere.
But do you...
Number two, this is about the national interest of the United States. And what I'm confident of is we are in a safer and better place because we're taking it seriously. The alternative...
Another thing, too, I think Venezuela was like one of the top 3 Bitcoin holders. Venezuela as a country was one of the top 3 Bitcoin holders. So they could have potentially flooded the market. They could have potentially flooded the market and really fucked up the Bitcoin market, too. So I wonder if right now we're in control of that Bitcoin that's over there too. I think big behind BlackRock, and I believe what is it? MicroStrategies? Is it BlackRock and MicroStrategies? It's BlackRock and somebody. Venezuela is the 3rd biggest holder. The U.S. is the 4th. So Venezuela actually held more Bitcoin than the United States. So it's all working.
To leave Maduro there as an indicted the drug trafficker, illegitimate president, running the country, open invitation for all of our adversaries to do whatever they want against the United States from Venezuela, that was not going to continue. What the alternative would have been to allow a drug trafficker to continue to use national territory and elements of nation-state power.
What's up, Brandon?
Drug trafficking organizations. Read the indictment. This guy used the levers of their security apparatus not to arrest drug traffickers, but to cooperate and facilitate the trafficking of drugs for the purpose of getting them into the United States. And that's going to stop.
And yet, Mr. Secretary, a month ago, President Trump pardoned the former president of Honduras, who was just starting a 45-year sentence for trafficking more than 500 tons of cocaine. Does that not undercut the administration's stated goal, as you just said, to go after these narco-terrorists?
One, the former president of Honduras, so this is not someone who was in power, had any influence of the politics of Honduras any longer. Number two, I don't do the pardon file. I'm not against it or for it. I just didn't review the file, so I can't speak to you about the dynamics that led the president to make the decision that he made. I think he talked about it yesterday.
No, my God, they putting it on the black lady, man. Y'all know they got the black lady over the pardons right now. That's crazy, man. They finna throw her ass under the bus.
Press conference. He reviewed the file, he went through the arguments in it, and he felt that the former president of Honduras was treated very unfairly by the previous administration and made the decision that he made. But I think the answer, whether you agree with that decision or not, people can disagree. I mean, there's people out there who make a living out of disagreeing with anything President Trump does. That doesn't mean you leave Maduro in place. That doesn't mean you don't go after Maduro. That's not the answer. I see people saying that. It's like, well, you know, how can you go after Maduro if you didn't do this? That's absurd. The answer to that, whether you have a problem with it or not, is not to leave in place someone who's been indicted, who hasn't even faced American justice yet, but now will.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I was referencing, obviously, the former president. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles told Vanity Fair that an attack on Venezuela's mainland would require approval from Congress. Why didn't that happen?
Thank you, Gemini.
What will happen with any future action the administration plans to take?
Oh, yeah, chat. I need everybody to double tap the screen and shut the live out. We go live every single day over here talking politics, current events, and entertainment. We're 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. You hit the subscribe button at the top box somewhere at the top, man. But that's how you support the channel for free. Also by double tapping your screen or sharing this to, you know, the last person you text or a friend. Do not gatekeep this channel. I know I'm a little tipsy tonight, but that's all right. You know what I'm saying? That's all right. I went to work today. That's all right.
In Venezuela or elsewhere.
This was not an action that required congressional approval. In fact, it couldn't require congressional approval because this was not an invasion. This is not an extended military operation. This is a very precise operation.
You said, what do I know about this? I just went on a complete tirade about this shit, man. You'll have to ask me a specific question or go watch the playback because we're finna get into another topic. It's still on the Venezuela, but Rubio finna get the hell up out of here. We finna listen to what Trump said.
Involved a couple of hours of action. It was a very delicate operation, too. It was one that required all these conditions to be in place at the right time in the right place. You couldn't afford leaks. We couldn't afford anything out there that would have endangered the mission and gotten people killed or killed off the mission and the optionality. We didn't even know if the mission was going to happen. How can you notify something you're not even sure if it can happen? Because in order for it to happen, you needed to have weather conditions in place. He needed to be at the right place at the right time. We needed to have forces prepared to go. There were a lot of factors in place. It was a trigger-based operation. You can't notify that, number one, because you don't even know if it's going to happen.
Correct. And then what's even crazier, with him saying that you can't notify, you can't get congressional approval, two outlets, I believe it was the Wall Street Journal and that's the one Bezos owns, and somebody else, they had intel already that this strike was going to go down about an hour before it happened. So even without congressional approval and risking all of those leaks, it got out anyway to mainstream media. They said they chose not to release it. Crazy. They chose not to tell the fucking public. Like, it's like, bro, we're talking about a serious military operation here. We're talking, they said there was 150 something aircraft. 150 some aircraft, man. They getting Maduro and his wife the fuck up out of there, man. They said they unalived a few people, soldiers and civilians, allegedly. That's what Venezuela's reporting. But this was a whole operation, man. Listen, Congress can't get approval for some little shit like that, man. I'm just going to be all the way honest. Should Congress have got approval if it was going to be a war and a prolonged war? Like, if this would have led to a war, then we would have had something to talk about. Like, damn, y'all did that. But as of right now, hell, the deed is done. Maduro ass in New York finna go to Florence, man. Finna go to the Alcatraz and the Rockies. It is what it is.
Happen if those conditions will ever align. And number two, you can't risk it being disclosed. But this was not an attack on Venezuela. This was a law enforcement function to capture an indicted drug trafficker. And of course, we needed the Department of War to support it because they...
Man, this shit is crazy. Now they calling it a law enforcement function. Man, that's some bullshit, Rubio. That's some bullshit, man. Call it what it is, man. Y'all wanted Maduro the fuck up out of there, man. Talking about this some law enforcement shit, man. The only reason y'all had law enforcement there was to make sure the paperwork and shit was right. To make sure the shit, y'all wouldn't get too much pushback or blowback, man. If y'all, they were there specific, not for no damn reason. Let's just be all the way honest, man. Trump's talking about we had special forces there, the most talented people in the fucking world. Why the hell do we need law enforcement there other than for some damn paperwork and to make sure the shit goes through legally, man? Let's be real, Rubio. Golly, damn.
We do have anti-aircraft missiles that could shoot down those helicopters.
But will you...
We had to take down radars. We had to take down those anti-air elements on the way in and on the way out. And that's what this was limited to.
But will you seek congressional approval for any further action in Venezuela or the region?
Well, we will seek congressional approval for actions that require...
No, Gil Fishman. It's not just about the oil. It's all fucking working, man. We just went through that. It's all working. It's about the oil. It's about the AI race. It's about the chips, the minerals that we need. They're using the CHIPS Act to fund this new smeltering facility in Tennessee so they can refine all of the shit that they need to make these chips for the computers and all the silver and damn gold that they're finna suck out of the back of Venezuela's land, man. Listen, man, it's going on. It's all fucking working right now. If you want to be real, they need the Panama Canal, man. They're shutting down the Americas, man. The Western Hemisphere is the United States of America. This shit is imperialism, man. If you woke up on January 1st and thought this wasn't some imperialistic shit, I'm sorry. It is now. I can't sugarcoat the shit, man. Whether you like it, whether you love it, whether you hate it. This shit is imperialism. This shit is going on, man. It's not just about the oil. It's about all of that shit. It's about the oil. It's about maritime dominance. It's about the natural resources, the precious metals, and the shit we need for the chips. It's about all of that shit, man. Shit's finna get real, man. Everybody forgot about the 2030 agenda and the one world government and shit. How do y'all think we just go from hundreds of countries to one fucking country, one world? No, it's consolidation. Right now we're seeing acceleration to consolidation, man. We're seeing acceleration to consolidation, man. Yes, countries might have their own name and shit, but that sovereignty shit is out the fucking window. I'm just gonna be real honest with you, man. They can make it cute. They can say it is what it is. They can look at these damn books, but who cares about a fucking ICC warrant? Netanyahu don't. Putin don't. If they put one on Trump, I don't think he'll give a fuck about it either. Let's be real, man. This international shit is done, man. Maritime dominance, New Monroe Doctrine 2.0. They're calling it the Trump Doctrine, man. The timeline is accelerated. We're here now. Like it, love it, hate it, cry about it, man. All I can do is report the news and tell you what the fuck I think's gonna happen.
Congressional approval, but otherwise they will get congressional notification. And this is not an operation that required congressional approval. In fact, this is an operation akin to what virtually every single president for the last 40 years has conducted. The difference is that when it's Donald Trump, all these Democrats go bonkers.
Is the Cuban government the Trump administration's next target, Mr. Secretary? Very quickly.
Well, the Cuban government is a huge problem. Yeah, the Cuban government is a huge problem. First of all,
is that a yes?
Cuba, but I don't think people fully appreciate. I think they're in a lot of trouble. Yes, I'm not going to talk to you about what our future steps are going to be and our policies are going to be right now in this regard, but I don't think it's any mystery that we are not big fans of the Cuban regime, who, by the way, are the ones that were propping up Maduro. His entire, internal security force.
We're not fans of the Cuban regime. We're not fans of the Cuban regime. That goes back to the Monroe Doctrine 2.0, chat. I'm telling you. Trump listed out his guarantees, the shit that he would not bend, break, or fold on. That's why they're calling it the Trump Doctrine. He said he wants the Panama Canal, man. He wants the Panama Canal, Greenland, and the Caribbean. The Panama Canal, Greenland, and the Caribbean, man. Venezuela, it's shut down, man. The Panama Canal, 800 miles away from Venezuela. Got the oil, got the natural resources. Fuck around and put Rubio over there. If this lady don't want to get right and keeps calling for the release of Maduro, have Rubio or Hegseth over there as Supreme Commander for 7 to 10 years while we put a straw in their damn back. That's what's going on, man. I'm just going to be all the way honest with you, man. The New Monroe Doctrine, man. This is maritime dominance, man. It's over with, man. Put that boat in the water if you want to, man. Right now, it's little speedboats and drug boats and shit, man. They're trying to get a lot slicker with it, and what are they calling it? Shadow fleets. They're putting other flags on it from other countries, man. It's gonna come to the point to where they just don't give a fuck, man. Anything touch that water, man, it's over with. Maritime dominance. It's not maritime patty cake. It's not maritime make a friend, man. They're calling this shit maritime dominance, man. You put that shit in the water, you better be A-OK like you on I-30 or I-40 or I-50, man, and the DOT behind your ass, man. Your ass better be right.
Controlled by Cubans. One of the untold stories here is how, in essence, you talk about colonization, because I think you said Dulce Rodriguez mentioned that the ones who have sort of colonized, at least inside the regime, are Cubans. It was Cubans that guarded Maduro. He was not guarded by Venezuelan bodyguards. He had Cuban bodyguards. In terms of their internal intelligence, who spies on who inside to make sure there are no traitors, those are all Cubans.
All right. Secretary of State Marco Rubio,
thank you for the super chat, the armed gardener. I'm the armed gardener. I'm a soldier in Jesus' army. I approve of this podcast. May God bless you and President Trump. Thank you, armed gardener. May God bless you as well. May God bless you as well. Jesus loves you as well, armed gardener.
Joining us after an incredibly busy 48 hours. Really appreciate it.
We thank you for watching.
All right, Chad. We're gonna move on. I wanted to get into that smeltering facility, but we gotta watch Trump's remarks. Trump gave remarks today, I believe, aboard Air Force One, and what he had to say, he really came at Colombia's president. So it's looking like Colombia's on the clock, Greenland's on the clock, and the Caribbean, Cuba's on the clock. That's what I was getting into earlier about the New Monroe Doctrine, where I left off. It was the Caribbean. It's the concession Trump wants, the Panama Canal, Greenland, and the Caribbean. So when Rubio comes out and says we don't like Cuba and what they got going and looking like it might be some regime change in Cuba, this is all part of the New Monroe Doctrine, the Trump Doctrine. This is part of it. We talked about this shit 2 weeks ago. It's recorded. Go back on the lives. I actually said what? We got Guantanamo over there, so I expect it to happen in Cuba. A lot of you guys was like, what about Haiti? What about, and I was like, no. We got Guantanamo. They already been talking about Guantanamo during this administration, trying to, get it up. We see Laura Loomer asking why Maduro's not at Guantanamo. They're about to go over there to fucking Cuba, man. That's part of the Monroe Doctrine 2.0. We've covered it over the last couple of weeks. You guys thought I was blowing smoke. You thought I was blowing smoke about the Chinese hypersonic missiles until we heard Trump come out and say it yesterday. The same week China announced the private sector is mass producing those hypersonic missiles made of concrete, we put the fucking blockades in Venezuela, man. It was what it was. It was a now or never moment. If they were going to establish that maritime dominance, if they were going to go in there and get back the oil rights or whatever the fuck, they had to do it before Venezuela got a hold of those hypersonic missiles in bundles, man. In bundles. Because they were getting them for $100,000 is what China said they were making them, right? Our missiles cost, our equivalent missiles that are better, I'm not arguing whether they're better, but our equivalent missiles cost us $4 to $15 million. $4 to $15 million to $100,000, man. If China would have got a boatload of them bitches over there, man, it would have been a problem for us monetarily. Monetarily, it would have been a fucking problem, man. I told you guys back then, it was a now or never moment, and the blockade came, and now we see regime change. Thank you, CC.
What Maduro was doing that moment.
Well, I knew the possible danger. It was a very dangerous operation. It was amazing.
Yes, $100,000 is crazy. You says who has the strongest navy? The U.S. That could be propaganda if you want to be all the way real. China has a crazy fleet over there right now. That's why Trump is rolling out the Trump class. Yes, Trump is rolling out the Trump class not only for military, but what did Trump say? He said that he's gonna be the one to design the boats. He says he has the eye for it. He says he has the eye for it. He's gonna design the boats because that's a part of maritime dominance. That goes back to the Monroe Doctrine 2.0. Maritime dominance, not only in military and the Navy, but in commercial lanes as well. America only accounts for 1% of the commercial vessels that are sold now. Right? Trump's not with that shit, man. That's too much money being left out there. So with the new Monroe Doctrine 2.0 Trump Doctrine, we're going to bring infrastructure back. They're accounting for about 200, I think it was a couple 100,000 jobs by 2030, specifically in that sector. They're looking for welders, they're looking for pipe fitters, and they're looking for people who was out there on that water in the Navy and the Coast Guard and shit, because we're trying to restore America maritime dominance. Real shit, man. I'm telling you guys.
We had a few injured, but all are in good shape right now. But I knew there was great danger. He got off a helicopter. The helicopters were being shot at. They got on the ground. They were amazing talent and tremendous patriotism, bravery. The bravery was incredible. Let's say they got up.
Man, maybe I can find. Let me see if I can find just the audio. Let me see if I can find the audio. Trump full remark. Oh, the White House. I seen it on the White House page. Let me go to the White House page. I think they got the clear audio.
We have something, yeah, a little bit different. We have some people that just got smoked.
Nah, they got the same damn audio.
The helicopter and the bullets were flying all over the place.
Nah, I think the White House does has a little bit of audio. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the White House video real quick, chat. I think the White House might have better audio. Alright, give me 1 second. There we go. Double tap the screen, shut the live out. We're 25 subscribers away from the next
We have
goal.
this time.
We're dealing with the people. We're dealing with the people. We have to do one thing in Venezuela, bring it back. It's a dead country right now. They got off the helicopter and the bullets were flying all over the place. As you know, one of the helicopters got hit pretty badly, but we got everything back. Got everything back and nobody killed.
The next question is who's in charge of Venezuela right now? Have you spoken to the newly sworn in president there, Rodriguez? And what are your thoughts on the entire situation when you said the U.S. would run Venezuela?
We're dealing with the people. We're dealing with the people that just got sworn in. And don't ask me who's in charge because I'll give you an answer and it'll be very controversial.
What does that mean?
It means we're in charge.
Have you spoken with her?
We're in charge.
Have you spoken with her?
No, I haven't, but other
Do
people
you want to?
Yeah, at the right time I will.
Did the U.S. give Delcy Rodriguez any guarantees in exchange for cooperating?
No, but she's cooperating.
Are you going to demand free and fair elections in the short term in Venezuela?
Well, it depends. You know, what you're talking. We have to do one thing in Venezuela, bring it back. It's a dead country right now. It's a country that, frankly...
Appreciate you, Captain America. What's up, AJ? Welcome in. I see you got a new picture over there, AJ. What's up, TBR? You said people forget we have Japan as an ally in their Navy and Air Force is so damn drone stocked is crazy. I was going to talk about Japan today. What was I going to say about Japan? Japan did issue security guarantees to Taiwan, I believe. I believe that Japan issued security guarantees to Taiwan. You said U.S. investing in military, not on education, with is not good. Okay. Bring it back like we brought our back, like we brought Libya back, like we brought Syria back. If we get to the point of invasion, that's when the game is kind of already up. Okay. Double tap didn't work for me. Okay. Thank you, Thomas. If the double tap doesn't work, Thomas said you had to hit the 3 buttons on the top right.
If I had lost the election...
What's up,
It
Puzzles?
would have been a dead country. It would have been Venezuela on steroids. Venezuela right now is a dead country. We have to bring it back. And we're going to have big investments by the oil companies to bring back the infrastructure. And the oil companies are ready to go. They're going to go in. They're going to rebuild the infrastructure. You know, we built it to start off with many years ago. They took it away. You can't do that. And you can't do that with me. They did it with other presidents.
How soon do you think an election can take place in Venezuela? How soon can an election take place?
Well, I think we're looking more at getting it fixed, getting it ready first, because it's a mess.
Right. They need to get it ready first because it's a mess so they can stick that straw in the damn back of Venezuela, man. I'm just telling y'all, chat, like it, love it, hate it, man. That's what the hell is going on, man. If you rushing these damn elections, man, we haven't even got Exxon down there yet, man. We haven't even pulled out any of these silver or gold out of these damn untapped refineries or whatever the hell it's called. We still haven't got anything going on down there. You talking about holding some elections? No, we're gonna be in Venezuela, and we're gonna be in Venezuela for at least 7 to 10 years, chat. I'm just gonna keep it all the way honest with you. Y'all answer me this: how long do you think we're in Venezuela? How long do you think the U.S. controls Venezuela? You talking about have some damn elections, man. That shit is gonna be far out, man. Trump will be out of office, man. Whoever's gonna come in 2028 will damn near be out of office before Venezuela breathes on an election, man. They're not worried about that shit, man. It's some money to be made. Let's be real, man. These folks are going after them dollars.
The country is a mess. It's been horribly run. The oil is just flowing at a very low level. Much lower than, even if it was badly run, it should have more income, more oil than what they're doing. So we're going to have the big oil companies go in, and they're going to fix the infrastructure, and they're going to invest money. We're not going to invest anything. We're going to just take care of the country. We're going to cherish the country. We're going to take care, more importantly, of the people.
Okay. Arm Gardner says less than 3 years. Everybody else is saying more than 3. Why do you say less than 3 years, Arm Gardner? The reason I say 7 to 10 years is because when we did what we did with Japan, what years was that? 45 to 52. 45 to 52, we controlled Japan. 45 to 52, we had an American general. Truman appointed him as supreme leader of, or supreme whatever. Hold on, let me see. What did they appoint him as? Supreme something of Japan. But it was for that 7-year period. So I think, man, timelines accelerated, yeah, about 7 years, 7 to 10 years, man. 7 to 10 years before they think about it.
Including Venezuelans that are living in our country that were forced to leave their country.
You said I lied. What did I lie about, Valentine Claremont? 6464.
They're going to be taken very good care of. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I have.
Which ones? Have you received any commitments?
All of them, basically.
Any commitments from the oil companies?
They want to go in so badly.
Did you speak with them before the operation took place?
Yes.
Did you maybe tip them off about what
Before and after. And they want to go in, and they're going to do a great job for the people of Venezuela. And they're going to represent us well.
What happens
But you know, the infrastructure is rusty, rotten, most of it unusable. It's old, it's broken. You see pipes laying all over the ground. Nothing's been invested for years. Chevron's in, as you know, they've done a good job, but even they haven't been in a position to invest money because they're...
You said name another country that has their population on. There are some countries that have their populations on. Shit, fuck Mexico. There's a lot of guns in Mexico.
a month basis.
What happens to this?
They're only there because I wanted them to be there.
Yeah, are there any contingencies in case the military in Venezuela is unhappy with the U.S. and the way it's running Venezuela? Do you guys have plans for anything?
So Venezuela thus far has been very nice, but it helps to have a force like we have. You know, we were ready for a second wave.
Thank you,
We're all set
CC.
to go, but we don't think we're going to need it.
There's about 17 billion worth of oil reserves in Venezuela.
More.
Is that going to be?
You mean trillion?
And is that going to be
Did you
something?
say billion or
I
trillion?
said billion.
You said 17 billion? It's much more than that.
Okay, so
You said 400 million guns, U.S. Never owned one, never would. Are you saying you've never owned a firearm and you never would? That's your right as an American. That's your right as an American. You can own one, you can not own one. Do what the hell you want to do, man.
what is going to happen to those reserves?
Well, we're going to run everything. We're going to run it, fix it. We'll have elections at the right time. The main thing you have to fix, it's a broken country. There's no money. There's inflation. Like we would have had, if I didn't win this election, we would have been Venezuela on steroids.
Man, Trump is not trying to hear that shit, y'all. Man, these reporters keep asking Trump shit he's not trying to hear. He's telling y'all, man. He's telling y'all, chat. Hold on. Hold on, chat. Damn.
Run everything. We're going to run it, fix it. We'll have elections at the right time. The main thing you have to fix, it's a broken country. There's no money. There's inflation. Like we would have had, if I didn't win this election, we would have been Venezuela on steroids. Lindsay would know that. You might say something on that because we were talking before. We would have had a doubling up of very bad things that cost us a lot of money, like welfare, frankly. We wouldn't have had jobs. And instead of having $18 trillion in, we would have had at least $5 to $10 trillion leaving the country. So our costs would have gone up, and all of the money that's, we're setting a record, and it's long broken. And that's it. That's after 10 months. We haven't included the 11th month yet. So we think we're going to hit over $20 trillion. The all-time record is 3 by another country known as China. About 10 years ago, they did 3. We're going to do close to 20 trillion. By the way, there has never been anything like this ever before. And it's all because of tariffs and the election, but it's because of tariffs.
There was a time.
Without tariffs, we wouldn't have 10 cents being invested.
There was a time back in 2016, I remember RNC speech, and you were saying that regime change and nation building.
Double tap the screen, shut alive. Let me get my camera back on. All right, bet. You said, yes, I do have a Cash App. It's right there. Right there. The plug station is right there. That's the Cash App right there at the bottom, man. I don't think I got a Venmo. I got a PayPal. The PayPal is the same. That's the Cash App and the PayPal right there at the bottom. Plug station.
When you were speaking at the RNC back in 2016, you were criticizing.
Oh, and thank you for the $2. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Y'all give TBR some likes and flames on that $2 super chat. Thank you, TBR.
Criticizing regime change and nation building, the U.S. being involved in that. It seems obviously that your stance has changed on that. What led to that? Is the U.S. nation building now? Is that?
This isn't a country that's on the other side of the world. This isn't a country like where you have to travel 24 hours in an airplane. This is Venezuela. It's in our area. The Donroe Doctrine.
So is that what you would say that we're
The Donroe Doctrine, bruh. Not the Trump doctrine. Not the the Donroe Doctrine, bruh. Where does he come up with this shit, man? Where does the row come from? Like, you just gonna take the Monroe Doctrine? Thank you, How to Live with the Smile, for the $2 super chat. Y'all give How to Live some likes on that. Thank you, TBR, for grabbing that membership. You just got access to 300 past live streams, all action-packed. They're all fire, man. You just got access to 300 past live streams plus some cool emojis. Member, show her the emojis that she just got access to. Member, show her the emojis that comes with the membership.
No, we're in the business of having countries around us.
Thank you, TBR. Thank you, How to Live.
And where the oil is allowed to freely come out because that's good. It gets the prices down. That's good for our country. Now, we have a very sick neighbor. It's not a neighbor, but it's close to a neighbor. And that's Venezuela. It's very sick. Colombia is very sick, too. Run by a sick man.
Here we go. Colombia. Y'all ass on the clock. That's what I'm telling y'all. Listen. When I did the research a couple weeks ago after he rolled out the new Monroe Doctrine 2.0, I told you guys he was going to shut down the Americas, man. I listed his concessions. Now he's talking about Colombia. We have to remember, Maduro just threw Colombia's president under the bus the day before he was arrested. We just seen Marco Rubio talk about Colombia's president and cocaine and how bad cocaine is. They're about to try to get Maduro to flip on Colombia's president for sending the drugs through to give them reason to go get his ass too. Maduro, if you ever want to breathe a thought or a chance of a damn pardon, you better implicate Colombia's president with this cocaine smuggling. We already got enough. We already know he doing it. We finna go get his ass anyway, but we just need you to sign the dotted line and tell us he was sending it to your country and your military was wrapping this shit up and sending it over here, man. Hook, line, and sinker. His ass is done. Colombia's on the clock.
Making cocaine and selling it to the United States, and he's not going to be doing it very long, let me tell you.
What does that mean? He's not going to be doing it very long.
He's not doing it very long. He has cocaine mills and cocaine factories. He's not going to be doing it very long.
So there will be an operation by the U.S. and
it sounds good to me.
Secretary Rubio mentioned...
You know why? Because they kill a lot of people, yeah.
Secretary Rubio mentioned Cuba yesterday in his remarks. Does the U.S. have a plan to do...
Well, Cuba...
You said how many countries do you think Trump can invade before the world says stop? Trump's not invaded anybody really yet. You know, he did a small military precise mission to extract Maduro. That's what they're calling it. You know what I'm saying? So Trump has yet to invade a country, you know. But if you're asking me, I don't think anybody cares as long as it's in the West. If we invade Mexico right now, who's going to say something? If we invade Canada right now, who's really going to say something? We annex Greenland right now, who's really going to say something? I'm just being honest, Chad, man. Anything on the Western Hemisphere, man, like, over here, man, I don't think anybody's gonna say too much, bro. I'm just gonna be honest.
Always survived because of Venezuela. Now they won't have that money coming in. They won't have the income coming in. You know, a lot of Cubans were killed yesterday. You know that. A lot of Cubans were killed.
Do you know how many?
The bodyguards. No, they're looking, but a lot of there was.
Man, y'all heard what P. Heggs said. He said, we project our will whatever. We project our will wherever. Heggs said that shit at the conference. Heggs said, we project our will wherever. Man, these folks don't think. That's why I said it like that, man. Heggs said, we project our will wherever, man.
A lot of death on the other side. No death on our side. But there was a lot of death on the other side, unfortunately. But a lot of Cubans were killed yesterday, trying to protect him.
There's been protesters killed in Iran. You said we were locked and loaded, ready to go. What is the line there for when the U.S. is going to get involved in those protests?
We'll take a look.
You said you would say something if they come to Canada. Yeah, I'm gonna be all the way real with you. What's Canada's new leader name? Mark Carney. What's Canada's new leader name? Not Mark Carney. What's the other guy's name? Dang, I can't think of his name. I'm just gonna be real. I don't think Europe is gonna load any boats up to come over here to save Canada, man. I'm just gonna be all the way honest, man. Trump put that 53rd state on Canada because it was gonna be Canada 51st state is what he said. And I'm not gonna lie, Chad. I thought he was just playing. I thought he was like just doing a little bit extra, man. Now they saying Greenland gonna be the 51st state. So listen, Chad. I don't think Europe gonna get in there. Because I think everybody believes that Trump will push the fucking button. That's the difference, Chad. I think it's quite a few leaders in the world right now that will actually push that fucking button, man. I think Trump will push that button. I think Netanyahu will push that button. I think Putin will push that button. I'm just gonna be real, Chad.
Watching it very closely. If they start killing people like they have in the past, I think they're going to get hit very hard by the United States.
Can I just add something? So when he first got elected in January, we met, biggest comeback ever. We talked about
like... So really? I didn't feel it was a comeback, actually.
So
it's the first one.
The bottom line is, we talked about a drug caliphate in our backyard. We had Venezuela, we have Cuba, we have Colombia in our backyard. And these three countries have been condemned ever since I've been in politics. Joe Biden put a $25 billion bounty on Maduro's head. Chris Smith, today he got inaugurated, said, I hope Trump will hold Maduro's feet to the fire. He did. So what has he done? He's going to clear our backyard of a drug caliphate, countries run by narco-terrorist dictators who murder, rape.
That's crazy. Why ain't nobody saying why isn't anyone saying anything about Biden putting the 25 M's on his head, man? I told y'all they've been wanting regime change in Venezuela since Obama was in office, man. Since Obama was in office. They said Biden put 25 M's on his head. Trump admin doubled it, man, to a 50 ball. Crazy.
Send drugs into our country to kill thousands of our citizens. To my Democratic friends, you should be celebrating this. When bin Laden went down, I was the first to applaud President Obama. This was one of the most sophisticated military operations in the history of the country. What they were able to do was amazing. They knew we were coming. We had a good part of the Navy, and they were able to capture this man alive. No military in the world.
This didn't start with Biden, though. You just said it started with Biden. It didn't start with Biden. Trump was talking. They were trying to get this regime out of power when Trump was in office last time. They were trying to get these folks out of there when Obama was in, man. This shit started before Biden, man. Biden was still probably dapping Hillary up, calling everybody fucking super predators, man, saying
The world could have done it. And as to this commander-in-chief, he did something people talked about doing. You just wait for Cuba. Cuba is a communist dictatorship that's killed priests and nuns. They've preyed on their own people. Their days are numbered. We're going to wake up one day, I hope in 26, in our backyard, we're going to have allies in these countries doing business with America, not narco-terrorist dictators killing Americans. This is a big frigging day. And everybody in the world is thinking differently than they were just a few days ago because of what you did.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Rose. Tester NYC. Y'all give Rose some likes and some flames on that super chat. Thank you, Rose.
By the way, you know, you mentioned something that's interesting. Lindsay mentioned.
Thank you
Bin
again,
Laden.
Rose.
You know, I wrote about Bin Laden 1 year before the attack on the World Trade Center, and I said you got to go after Bin Laden. It was in my book, and very few people want to say that, but it was in my book. You know that you've actually talked about it. But if they would have listened to me, they would have taken out Bin Laden, and you wouldn't have had the World Trade Center tragedy.
Yeah, this is certainly going.
Did you know that?
See, I see what you saying. How to live. Want my America to focus on each other first. I do agree with you, and I believe you there. But when we're talking about an imperialist approach, we have to go back to Manifest Destiny, man. I think this is Manifest Destiny on steroids. Maybe the name doesn't change. Maybe they let the country take their name, but the way that motherfucker operates, it's over. It's over. The way these countries operate is done until at least until midterms, man. At least until midterms over with. Because right now, Trump doing what the hell he want to do, man. He's having his way with this shit. Straight up. And having fun doing it.
Predicted Bin Laden.
I learned something every day.
No, but did you hear that?
Well, I
you
did
know
now.
that?
I just heard it
Yeah,
right
no,
now.
I wrote a book. It was 1 year before the attack that the book came out, and it talked about, there's a whole page, a whole section dedicated to a guy named Bin Laden who's a bad guy who you have to take out.
So, I'll get the book. But right after the election, he told me,
Chat, do I think Maduro was a bad guy? I don't know. Do I think Maduro sold drugs or turned a blind eye to a lot of drugs being sold? Hell yeah. Do I think, yeah, we'll just stop there. I think Maduro sold a lot of drugs. I think he knew them drugs was coming through straight up. Just like all countries know where the drugs and shit's coming through.
I'm going to clean up our backyard. Now, this was before he took office. This is one of the president's priorities, is to make sure that people in our backyard, narco-terrorist states, will not continue to kill Americans without the number of people that will be alive today because Venezuela will be in different hands is going to be tens of thousands. This is something to be celebrated, whether you like him or not.
Not just Venezuela. It's what's coming out of Venezuela in the form of ocean-going and Gulf-going and sea-going boats. Every time we knock out a boat, and we've done a lot of them, we did 3 over the last few days, they're very rare now. You don't see too many of them.
Hard to recruit.
But drugs by sea are down 97%. Think of that. And now we're going to stop them by land, too. The land is easy. We have...
Now we're going to stop them by land, too. Mexico. Y'all on the clock. Trump saying he's finna stop these drugs by land, too. He's already labeled fentanyl and a weapon of mass destruction. He's also labeled these cartels terrorist organizations. So when you put terrorist organizations along with weapons of mass destruction, and he's saying we already got maritime dominance, we stopped this shit coming from sea, we're gonna focus on land next. Mexico, y'all ass on the clock, man.
We had to do the sea before we did the land because it just works out.
Yeah, you were just talking about the land, but it sounded like
And
you laid
by
out.
the way, you have to do something with Mexico. Mexico has to get their act
Told you.
together because they're pouring through Mexico, and we're going to have to do something. We'd love Mexico to do it. They're capable of doing it. But unfortunately, the cartels are very strong in Mexico.
I remember one time you actually, speaking of Mexico, I asked you about Claudia Sheinbaum, and you told me at one point you had offered to send U.S. troops into
True, I did.
Mexico to combat drug trafficking there. Is that something you
Well,
have
I like
spoken to her
Claudia.
about?
I think she's a terrific person. I would say every single time I talk to her, I offered to send troops.
And she's just not willing?
She's concerned. She's a little afraid. The cartels are running Mexico. Whether you like it or not, it's not nice to say. But the cartels are running Mexico.
Yeah, speaking of those U.S. troops, I mean, one thing that Americans and a lot of people are wondering, you just sounded like you weighed out another strike, another.
You fuck around and appoint somebody over Mexico too, Chad. Fuck around, be down there controlling Mexico for 5 to 7 years, man. The 38 murders, man. This Claudia lady is calling for the freedom of Maduro, saying they support Maduro and shit. That fuck around have a regime change in Mexico, man. Trump be appointing somebody, man, over Mexico for about 5 to 7 years.
Land strike, at least in Venezuela. You sound like you weighed that out.
Well,
But
we didn't need it.
But-
We were prepared to do a second strike if we needed it. We're totally prepared.
But that's
and
off
we're
the
still
table.
prepared.
That's off the table now.
No, it's not. If they don't behave, we will do a second strike.
Will you demand
The
that
question is
Venezuela-
the American troops, are they going to be on the ground? They're doing any kind of peacekeeping. I think Americans are very...
It depends on what happens. It depends a little bit on the new administration, if you want to call it.
So if you see that pushback from Rodriguez and ultimately...
Well, I don't think there was pushback. I think that
She
frankly,
called it...
you hear a different person than I hear.
Really? So you have spoken with her?
We talked to them, yeah.
Oh, you did speak with her?
They've been very good.
Because she called it kidnapping of Maduro.
It's all right. It's not a bad term. Go ahead.
Now, are you going to demand that Delcy Rodriguez let opposition figures return or free any political prisoners?
We haven't gotten to that yet. Right now, what we want to do is fix up the oil, fix up the country, bring the country back, and then have elections.
What we want to do is fix up the oil, fix up the country, bring the country back, and then have elections, man. That shit is going to take about 7 to 10 years, chat. This is nothing, and from what I've heard from Trump or Rubio, sounds like they're rushing to have some elections and hand this shit back over to Venezuela. It looks like they are still touting that they want to hand this back over to Venezuela, but it doesn't seem like they're in no fucking rush to do it. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Is it fair? We better bring the country back. Otherwise, you're gonna have a mess that's so bad. It was really bad. It's going to get a lot worse unless we go in and fix it.
Is the U.S. going to reopen its embassy in Caracas or get the DEA?
We're thinking about it. We've been asked to.
Did he just say kidnapping is not a bad term? Real talk. I told y'all when y'all thought I was playing, I said Trump kidnapped Maduro. Y'all was like, it's not kidnapping. It's man, he kidnapped his ass, man. That's what went on, man. Trump will kidnap your fucking president, man. Trump got 34 felonies, 3 baby mamas, and a billionaire, and will kidnap your fucking president, man. Straight up, man. Shit like Al Pacino, man.
We've actually been asked to do it.
Do you think you and Putin and on the phone, of course, and then Zelensky at Mar-a-Lago,
Yeah.
you told me that
Numerous times.
You told me that your New Year's resolution was peace on earth. Do you think that 2026, if you could set a deadline of when the Russia-Ukraine
I don't
war...
do deadlines, but I would say that, like as an example, Thailand and Cambodia.
Well,
I was very proud of that. Wait a minute. And they started up again and they got it solved.
Where does it
I give myself 1/4 of a point for that. So now I'm 8 1/4 points because they started up Thailand and Cambodia and now it's okay.
So where does it actually stand between Russia
I
and
think we'll have a
Ukraine
deal
right now?
at some point, hopefully in the not too distant. So I don't know if you saw the numbers just came out. 30,000 soldiers were killed this current month.
And there was that intelligence.
30,000. 27,000 the month before.
You and Senator Graham discussed additional Russia sanctions.
discuss it all the time. There's nothing else I talk to him. I don't consider him very exciting to talk to, except...
This is the consolidation of power, XX. I know XX been around a long time, so this for you, XX, man. I'm talking directly to you, XX. This is the consolidation of power. We see BRICS nations aligning. We see Russia's influence. We see China's influence. North Korea, you know, they doing their own thing. But this is the consolidation of power. This is where we go from many nations to few nations. Maybe not on the map to where it reads like that, but as far as control, as far as the way things move and the way policy is set forth, this is where we go from many nations to very few nations. From hundreds of nations to probably less than a dozen. 5.
Well, we're talking about legislation. And we talk about legislation all the time. You think that's an exciting relationship? It's not. But we talk a lot about legislation, and we have great legislation coming. You want to tell us?
So the tariff bill, so here's what I believe. I don't think we could have secured the border without the threat of tariffs. I don't think we'd have a European trade deal without the threat of tariffs. So if you want to end this conflict, then put pressure on Putin's customers. He sanctioned the 2 largest oil companies in Russia, which is the biggest pressure anybody's put on Putin since the war started. But we have 85 co-sponsors.
You said, am I listening? I tried. They wouldn't take me. I'm not going to lie. They wouldn't take me. This was at the time where it was a little stricter as well, though. It was a time where it was a little stricter. And my tattoo, they was tripping on my tattoo. Then I went and got some felonies, you know. So I don't know if they going to fuck with me, Chad. I'm not going to lie, man. I thought about it. Don't get me wrong. I have thought about it. Trust me, man. I will fight for our country. Lifetime insurance, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, free college and benefits and shit. Doesn't sound too bad. I'm just going to be honest. I tried, but they won't fuck with me because of my tattoo. I had a cross right here, and it was kind of big. At the time, he was, the recruiter was like, it was, you know, too far down. Then I left there and went and caught some damn felonies. So, as times changed, I still have some damn felonies.
To give this president.
Until now, though, you know, I got my record, you know, together, Chad. Got my record sealed, but yeah, that's what. My whole family was military, Chad. I was the only one that went to school, really. I was the only one that went to school, and that's just how it was.
It's hurting Russia very bad. The sanctions.
Oh yeah. So this bill would allow.
And India also is bullish.
Yes, sir. So you put a 25% tariff on India for buying Russian oil. I was at the Indian ambassador's house about a month ago, and all he wanted to talk about is how they're buying less Russian oil. Would you tell the president to relieve the tariff? This stuff works. So I'm hoping we'll bring the bill up, and it's from 0 to 500. He picks the number. Nobody else does. But if you're buying cheap Russian oil, keeping Putin's war machine going, we're trying to give the president the ability to make that a hard choice by tariffs. I really do believe that what he did with India is the chief reason India is now buying substantially less Russian oil. So I hope we pass this bill soon. And after this...
They wanted to make me happy, basically. He wanted to... Modi's a very good man.
Yes.
He's a good guy. He knew I was not happy. And it was important to make me happy. They do trade.
Yeah.
And we could raise tariffs on them very quickly, and it would be
people are
very
afraid
bad
of that.
for them.
All of that to say, you told me you weren't very thrilled.
And I'll tell you something, the Russian economy...
The Go Time Show, I do read. I'm actually very well read on certain subjects. I don't claim to know everything, and I don't claim to be, you know, the end-all, be-all, but I'm actually very well read on certain subjects, you know. I do read. I read quite a bit. I pick up those books. Like, some of those books are not for show. Like, some of those books, the thesauruses and shit, probably won't pick those up. But it's 2 of those books over there I'm actively reading. You know, I'm alternating between 2 of those books right now.
Is lousy. But what's really lousy is the Venezuelan economy. The Venezuelan economy is, I think, the worst economy I've ever seen. If you look at inflation, it's things are doubling every day.
Stolen blood.
It's a disaster. We got to fix the country fast.
President Trump, are there going to be any more? You said the oil companies are going to go in there. Are there any other companies that you've talked to about dealing with Venezuela? Maybe Mr. London could talk about that. Are there any other corporations, entities outside?
Many outside of the oil business.
Like who?
Well, the oil business, yes, but outside, yes. Howard, you want to
They have steel, you have minerals, right? All the critical minerals. They have a great mining history that's gone rusty. So steel, aluminum, minerals, I mean, this is all, it's a rich.
Look, he got a hard on, bro. Like his damn Johnson is getting hard. They have steel, they have oil, they have minerals. That the steel is just rusted and they're just mineral and resource rich. His damn Johnson is getting hard talking about sticking this fucking straw in Venezuela's back, man, and extracting their resources. He can't even hide it, man. He's fucking happy.
It was once upon a time one of the great economies and cultures of the world, and it was destroyed, and now President Trump is going to fix it and bring it back. For Venezuela.
But it's not easy. It's
no.
really gone bad. But it's got potential. What?
Maybe any rare earth minerals?
They have rare earth, but everybody has rare earth. Rare earth is not rare. What's rare is the processing.
We got
We're
almost
doing
all.
processing plants. That's right. There's no such thing as rare earth. The rare earth is everywhere. What isn't everywhere is the processing of rare earth, and we have a lot of places going up right now.
One thing we haven't heard you specifically.
We have a lot of places going up right now. That's what I'm talking about. In Tennessee, they just cut that $7.4 billion deal for the smeltering facility in Tennessee that can process the rare earths and the precious metals, right? It's going up in Tennessee. The Department of Defense, Department of War owns 40% of that. JP Morgan and Chase is the financier. JP Morgan and Chase was just in a fucking lawsuit for manipulating the silver markets a couple years ago, and now they're the financier for all of the damn silver that we're finna and gold that we're finna extract the fuck up out of Venezuela, man. And it's gonna go straight to Tennessee before it's even counted and shit, man. Some hands gonna be in the pot. They're saying JP Morgan Chase has all of these short positions on silver, and now they got their hand in the damn pot. It's crazy.
Back to is the Minnesota fraud that we've seen play out.
Silver's going to the fucking moon right now, and now JP Morgan Chase has their hand in the fucking pot, man. What are all these short positions out, man? Silver's still going to them. Man, listen, chat, I wouldn't be surprised if they flood the damn market, man. I wouldn't be surprised. Not financial advice, man. Consult with the people that do that shit for it. I wouldn't be surprised if they flood the fucking market, man. It's finna be crazy, bro.
It just doesn't get worse. I've reacted. It's almost not even believable. This very
You say they long now? They went long now? That makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot more sense to make it look a little bit better for them. Especially with Trump announcing this $7.4 billion smelter facility that they fucking financed. Sounds a lot better that they're going long. I seen Jamie Dimon up there talking about cryptocurrency is the future. The same Jamie Dimon that said Bitcoin and crypto would never be shit. This is the same guy, bro. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know about these people, bro.
low IQ governor. He's a very stupid man because, I had a campaign against him with JD. And he's a stupid man. And he's a corrupt politician. And the Somalians are ripping off our country to the tune of, looks like $19 billion, but that's only what they can find. So usually when you're looking at 19, that would mean it could be 50. But the numbers are astronomical.
You say you better off collecting artwork for your value investment over precious metal. I don't know. Gold's been going crazy right now. Precious metals have been going crazy. I'm just going to keep it real, chat. I'm from the country, man. Before I go buy $1 million piece of art, I would probably go buy $1 million gun collection, man. I'm just going to be all the way honest with you, chat. Before I go get a Van Gogh or a Picasso, I'm going to go get some fucking Daniel Defense, man, and a bunch of it, chat. A lot of that shit.
Think of it. They have a dead country. They don't have government. They don't have anything. They don't have a military. All they do is run around shooting people and trying to capture ships. You know, we don't let them take ships anymore. You know why? We use the same exact missile on them that we use on the drug carriers. And it's very effective.
So
You notice there's nobody capturing ships anymore? Because as they head out to go capture the ship, and the ship doesn't want to fire back because it's very flammable stuff in many cases. And the insurance companies don't want, because they build $1 billion ship, and they don't want anybody firing rockets into the ship. But we're hitting them so hard, and
You said how much physical precious metals can you hold? More than you can fucking afford. I'm just gonna be all the way honest with you, chat. I'm not in y'all pockets. It might be some very wealthy people in here. But for the average American, you said how much physical precious metals can you hold? More than you can fucking afford. You would be amazed. You would be surprised.
it's very similar. Same missile system. It's called deadly accurate. And do you notice that ships aren't being taken anymore? The pirates are.
That's right. I hadn't thought about
The pirates aren't. Well, no.
No Somali pirates.
It's actually very easy. They head out. We say, guess what? There's pirates. Bing. That's the end of the pirates. The shipping business is coming back because see, these are little things that we're doing, and I'm doing it not just for American ships. I'm doing it worldwide because we don't want the police commission, the head of police. I will say, it was so effective. But we haven't needed it.
Man,
anyway.
Alright, chat. They messed up the damn video, man. Hold on, chat. Let me get the video together, man. Y'all give me a second. I'm finna come right back. They fucked up the video. This shit is crazy, chat. They always do that to my live. Double tap the screen, shut the live out. We're 25 subs away from the next sub goal. And if you can't double tap, it doesn't work for you, click the 3 dots at the top. The subscribe button is up there, and the like button is up there, man. We're 25 subs away from the next sub goal.
Most powerful thing we haven't used the Insurrection Act.
you're considering using the
I've
insurrection.
always considered it, but we haven't needed it anywhere. 48% of the presidents of this country have used it. Bush used it, I think, 22 times or something. You know that, right? I mean, Bush the elder.
Bro, why does it keep messing up?
Total access. We need total access.
Hold on, chat. Let me reset this again, chat. I don't know what the hell is going on, man.
Anywhere. 48% of the 48% of the presidents of this country have used it. Bush used it, I think, 22 times or something. You know that, right? I mean, Bush the elder.
And what are your short-term next 2 weeks? What do you need from Delcy Rodriguez? You fed
just total access. We need total access. We need access to the oil and to other things in their country that allow us to rebuild their country.
What other things?
A lot of things. Roads that aren't built, bridges that are falling.
Oh, yeah. So, he's talking about the Venezuelan vice president, the one that took over for Maduro, and she says, what do we need from him? He says the oil, complete cooperation, we need roads, infrastructure. What does that tell me, chat? They're setting Venezuela up for the okie doke. She cannot give Trump what he's asking for without her head rolling in the street. She is a regime loyalist. She is loyal to the Maduro regime. 20 years in the game. The military leaders around her are loyal to the Maduro regime. If she comes and kisses the ring and bows down to Trump, her head will roll. So Trump knows she's gonna buck. She's about to buck. Reports are coming out that she's already went to Moscow, and she's still calling for the release of Maduro and calling Maduro the legitimate leader of Venezuela. She's gonna buck. Trump's gonna send them in there, man, and he's gonna occupy Venezuela and appoint somebody as a leader of Venezuela for the time being until they set up that infrastructure and extract those resources and get Venezuela back on the right track before they can have judicial transfer of power. Crazy, man. This shit is crazy.
Falling down. You have bridges that are falling down. Nobody can go anywhere.
And on Greenland,
On Greenland now?
yeah, we're up on Greenland.
How did we come up to Greenland?
So, do you expect to take an action against Greenland?
Well, I don't want to talk about Greenland. Let's talk about.
Yeah, you say gold spot price is 44.17, silver 72. They're saying the actual physical silver is trading between $110 and $130 in some of these countries. The actual physical silver is trading for $110 to $130. They're expecting it to open up, I believe, tomorrow at least $100. I've seen some reports expecting silver to open up tomorrow at $100. I don't know though. Do your own research.
Venezuela, Russia, Ukraine.
What's
We'll
up,
worry
T2?
about Greenland in about 2 months. Let's talk about Greenland in 20 days.
20 days.
By the way, I will say this about Greenland. We need Greenland from a national security situation. It's so strategic. Right now, Greenland is covered with Russian
What's
and
up,
Chinese
Purple?
ships all over the place. We need
Thank you,
Greenland
CC.
from the standpoint of national security. And Denmark is not going to be able to do it, I can tell you. You know what Denmark did recently to boost up security in Greenland? They added one more dog sled. It's true. They thought that was a great move.
What would the justification be for a claim to Greenland? What would the justification?
Oh, I don't want to talk about Greenland now. I just say this. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security. And the European Union needs us to have it. And they know that.
I think there's some concern that the operation in Venezuela will affect your relationship with Xi Jinping in China.
No, I don't think so. I have a very good relationship. We have the power of tariffs, and he has other powers on us.
Are you still planning to travel to see him in April?
Yeah, I'll be going in April.
I think there's some confusion from Americans and maybe the community in the world when it comes to what you said about Rodriguez earlier today in a phone interview. You said that she would face the same fate, if not worse, than Maduro.
Trump finna pay him. I think Trump's finna pay China the $60 billion in loans. China's into Venezuela for about $60 billion in loans. Trump just took control of everything in Venezuela, basically everything. The Bitcoin, I'm alleging, the Bitcoin, the oil, also the minerals, natural resources. U.S. is controlling it. China's in the $60 billion. He's touting the relationship that he has with Xi as just such a great relationship. Trump's finna pay him, man. He finna go on like, look, man, we know you in there for $60 billion. Look, we'll get you to $60 billion. You just get the fuck out the way, man. You just get the hell out the way.
But it sounds like you're talking to her on the phone and wanting to work
Not
with
me,
her.
my people are
And
just the
you
same.
are considering her in power. Can you just clarify where you stand on Delcy Rodriguez
I
right
don't
now
have
being
to.
in
I don't
power?
have to tell you. I just say that she will face a situation probably worse than Maduro, because you know Maduro gave up immediately.
So she could also
He raised his hand. He gave up, and he did the right thing, but he gave up. So we were so effective, and it was so fast and violent. It was very violent, but we were so effective. He raised his hands. He gave up.
What was the most violent moment?
I don't want to tell you.
I don't want to
There
tell
were some
you.
bad moments, but there were some very violent moments. I don't want to tell you.
Did you get a briefing at all of Maduro's first night?
Yes.
What can you tell us?
So the army over there in Venezuela is alleging that this attack left civilians unalived. Also, I believe an 80-something-year-old woman ended up unalived. Also, some soldiers and officials were left unalived. But they're saying the Venezuelan army military is coming out and saying that civilians were unalived in this. Civilians were unalived in this operation.
I have a total briefing on every aspect of it, but I don't think it's appropriate to talk to the press about it. You'll find out.
When it comes to him in court tomorrow, I mean, what's the end game here with Maduro? Does
There
he
is
just
no
rot in
We're
a
just
U.S.
going to go
prison?
through a slog of a trial. The judge is very respected, Judge Hellerstein. He's a highly respected judge. We'll see how we do. The case it's infallible. And people are so happy with what we've done. You know, you go down to Miami, you go down to a lot of places, and and they're all dancing in the streets of this country. Now he was a rough man. Killed millions of people. He killed millions and millions of people.
That's what I'm saying, chat. They're not going to let him out. They're gonna dangle. Look, Maduro, if you ever want an inkling of a chance of coming out, you gotta tell on Colombia's president for sending that cocaine over there to you. And they're still not gonna let him out. The Trump's trying to put millions and millions of bodies on Maduro. They passed out those guns to the militias. They're hitting them on weapons trafficking too. Maduro is about to go to Florence, man. He's about to go to the 23-1 and the Alcatraz of the Rockies, man. The only federal supermax that we have in America. His ass is on the way there. Laura Loomer's asking why is he not going to Guantanamo. He might have some fucking pull in Guantanamo, man. I'm just gonna be all the way. Guantanamo is still over in the Caribbean, man. That's not mainland, man. They fuck around and try something over there, man. Try to break him out or do some crazy shit, man. His ass is going to the middle of America, man. Colorado, Florence, Alcatraz of the Rockies, man. Putting millions of deaths on this man. Narco trafficking, guns trafficking, man. It is what it is. Maduro ass is cooked, man. His wife is cooked too, man.
Can I just say something? We got that. This is a good thing, not a bad thing. President Biden put a $25 billion bounty on the guy's head. Why?
No, he didn't put a 25 billion. It was million. But also, yeah, I'm gonna let it play.
Because he was a horrible criminal, murderer, poisoning our people. Every administration has been saying he's a threat to our country. He's a bad guy. This is the.
You said no, he's turning everyone against us. Everyone was gonna be against us anyway once we cut the money off. You know how people come around you when the money good, and then when the money slow up, everybody kind of goes away or tell you how they really feel. That shit was finna happen anyway once the water got cut off, man, around this motherfucker. Now we got Rubio talking about NGOs aren't getting any more money, it's going directly to the country. Shit's finna get tight, man. Shit's finna get tight for other countries and everything.
The first guy that's actually done something about it. Here's the story for me. He could be in Turkey today, but he's in New York. So if you tell people in Cuba, you need to stop being a communist dictatorship threatening America, you should go somewhere else. You better take the offer. Maduro has nobody to blame but himself. He gave him a way out. He chose to defy Trump and the U.S. military, and his ass is in jail where he deserves to be, and every president has said...
And y'all get mad at me for cussing. He said he chose to defy Trump like Maduro was his fucking kid, man. And now his ass is in jail, man. I'm telling y'all, man. Trump on some gangster shit right now, man. Trump, listen, chat. If Trump wasn't the president and he wasn't 47 or whatever, and you just put Trump as a regular person, man, 34 felonies, 3 baby mamas, will kidnap your fucking president, man, and he getting to that money. And let's just be real, man. Trump on some gangster shit right now. Like it, love it, hate it, man. It is what it is. Then you see this guy behind him talking about landed his ass in jail. Shit like that. You hear Pete Hegseth talking about fuck around and find out. You got the White House official account playing Biggie Smalls in the background talking about nigga this and nigga that, man. Look, this is 2025 here.
Same thing.
I mean 2026. It started in 2024.
Did it.
One of the things that is happening, and I think you see it all the time, Howard, you've seen it, that Cuba is ready to fall.
Yes.
Cuba looks like it's ready to fall. I don't know if they're going to hold out. But Cuba now has no income. They got all of their income from Venezuela, from the Venezuelan oil. They're not getting any of it. And Cuba literally is ready to fall. And you have a lot of great Cuban Americans that are going to be very happy about this.
Marco Rubio has really had your ear, it seems, throughout this entire process. I know that the Vice President Vance was just down the street when this whole operation was playing out, but would you say that Marco Rubio has your ear more than the Vice President right now?
No, they both do. No.
You said why not take Putin the same way? Because Putin way yonder, man. Putin is way yonder. Putin has nothing to do with this Monroe Doctrine 2.0 because he's not in the Western Hemisphere. Now, if Putin was in the Western Hemisphere, his ass would be catching some smoke right now too, man. Straight up, his ass would be catching smoke right now too. He's not in the Western Hemisphere. Everybody in the Western Hemisphere ass is on the clock. I'm just gonna be all the way honest.
He's very smart, doing a great job, and so is Barr. No, both.
It sounds like
I would say equal.
The go-to, and you were just talking about Cuba and what could come next there. Are you considering U.S. action in Cuba?
We're not. I think it's just going to fall. I don't think we need any action. It looks like it's going down. It's going down for the count. You ever watch a fight?
Yeah.
They go down for the count. And Cuba looks like it's going down. What do you think, Howard?
I seen a meme earlier. It had Bush up there, said I got Saddam. It had Osama, said I got I got Osama. It had Trump, said I got Maduro. It had a picture of Biden that said I got ice cream. Crazy.
It's going down. They've lived off of Venezuela, right? The economics were all Venezuelan, right? That's why you said the protective force of Maduro was Cuban.
XX, you said, have you seen the air defense over Moscow? I'm just gonna be all the way honest with you. They just dropped some. Allegedly, they attacked Putin's residence last week. Allegedly, drones did go by Putin's residence. The video we watched wasn't a real video, but they are reports coming out that Putin's house was attacked last week.
Right.
One of his residences.
Cuban guards. So they were just paying Cuba when that money stops.
Don't hire them in the future.
Yeah, they weren't very good.
People from our country who were forced to come over, people they didn't want, they were from Cuba. People from different countries like to stay in those countries, whatever, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And people want to go back to Cuba, and they want to work in Cuba, but Cuba's going down for the count. Thank you very much, everybody.
Mr. President, is Elon Musk back in the fold? You had dinner with him last night at Mar-a-Lago.
Elon's great. I say about Elon, he's 80% super genius and 20% he makes mistakes. But he's a good guy. He's a well-meaning person.
Can I ask you about one more thing that I've been wanting to ask you the last couple of days? You said that you were very...
He's got a lot of questions.
I do have a lot of questions.
Tell him who you were. Go ahead.
I'm with News Nation. My name's Libby D.
Excellent.
So you said that you were really very angry with the Ukrainian President Zelensky if he was the one who conducted that strike on Putin's residence.
I don't believe that strike happened.
Right. So Putin had said in that phone call to you that strike happened. You came out and said that, and you believed Putin.
So Putin said the strike happened, XX. That says Zelensky ordered it with the help of Europe. They try to take Putin out. I akin that to something happening in West Palm. If something like that happened in West Palm, Americans would be up in arms. Americans would be outraged, pissed off, whether you love Trump, whether you hate Trump. If some shit like that happened in West Palm, America would be outraged. This shit happened to Putin. Putin saying it did happen. Now Trump is coming out saying, I don't believe it happened. So I don't fucking know, man. I don't know.
There was some criticism.
There is something that happened fairly nearby, but had nothing to do with this.
Why did you believe Putin in that moment and then go say that about you?
Because nobody knew at that moment. I mean, that was the first I heard about it.
So why not?
He said that his house was attacked. We don't believe that happened. Now that we've been able to...
Bone, I'm gonna keep it real. You said super, ultra, mega, MAGA power? Okay.
But that was the first we ever heard about it. We just hope that Russia and Ukraine get it settled.
Amen.
You know, it's costing us nothing. In fact, we make money because unlike Biden gave $350 billion, gave it away. Now, I got a lot of it back.
Mobby said, why not the real problem, Russia and China? This move in Venezuela was to affect Russia and China. It put the blockade. The oil was going to China. The weapons deals and the security guarantees was coming from China and Russia. Russia was leading the way with the military stuff, but China got in because they got the hypersonic missiles. So you said, why not the real problem, Russia and China? Because Russia and China aren't in the Western Hemisphere. But through Venezuela, they had a presence in the Western Hemisphere. So in turn, putting the blockades blowing up the boats and ultimately regime changing and getting Maduro the fuck up out of there did affect Russia and China.
Because we did a rare earth deal going into rare earth. And we're going to get a lot of the money back, maybe all of the money, maybe more than all of the money. But we get paid now whenever we send anything, they pay. So this isn't an economic thing for us. This is a soul. This is a situation where on average 25,000 souls, 25,000 soldiers mostly, and some people from Kiev and different cities, but a very small number by comparison. But 25,000 to 30,000 soldiers are being killed every single month. And they're not from America, they're from...
See, the thing is, Mobby, you have to look at what's going on and listen to what he's saying. China has to come to the table. He just locked up all of the oil. The only way China was getting their payback on their loans, from the 60 billion in loans, was from the oil. Let's be all the way honest. That's what the hell was going on. The blockades happened the same week that the hypersonic missiles made of concrete were announced that were being made by the private sector in China. China's private sector does not announce a lot of shit, specifically when it comes to weaponry. China's private sector doesn't announce a lot of weaponry. That shit normally comes from the state. So I knew immediately when this private company in China said that they can produce hypersonic missiles for $100,000 and they're mass producing them bitches, it's a problem. It's a problem. How many of those $100,000 missiles do you think could be traded for 1.9 million barrels of oil? A fuck ton of them. That creates a financial risk for America. Creates a financial risk. They're getting them bad boys for 100,000. It's costing us 4 million to 15 million. Straight up. It is what it is, man. Now China has to come to the table. If they want that 60 million, they want to get that 60 million back. They got to go through Trump now to get that 60 million, man. Russia, oil is really big in Russia. Since we have control of Venezuela's oil, plus our own oil and our alliance, I believe, with Saudi Arabia, that allegiance right there, that alliance right there controls 50% of the oil market. Putting pressure on these bad boys, putting pressure on Russia, putting pressure on cheap. Trump doesn't have to come out and say, fuck Russia, fuck China. They got to deal with him now. They have to. They want that 60 billion. Evergrande just collapsed over there in China. So China's economy is just now shaking back over the last year and a half, 2 years. I don't know if y'all remember Evergrande collapsing over there, man. Evergrande went to shit over there. I don't remember if y'all remember the ruble collapsing. Putin and Xi, they already ripped the Band-Aid off. Their economy already went to shit a couple years ago. I remember when the ruble fell off a fucking cliff, bruh. The ruble fell off a cliff. Evergrande collapsed. Everything was going to shit over there a couple years ago. I just wasn't doing content at the time. I was still tapped in. I just wasn't doing this type of content.
Russia, and they're from Ukraine. And if I can get it stopped, I'd like to get it stopped. And I think we will. Thank you very much, everybody.
You've talked about returning some control to American companies. Did that play at all into your decision to capture Maduro?
No. What really played is the fact that he sent millions of people into our country from prisons and from mental institutions and drug dealers and every drug addict in that country, in his country, was sent into our country. Think of that. Every single drug addict from Maduro's country, which isn't really his country, and it's certainly not his country anymore, every drug addict and every drug dealer has been sent into our country. Now, we're getting them back, but it's a very laborious job to get them back. Very hard job. And, of course, we're not getting a lot of good backup from certain judges, from certain radical left. But we're doing well on appeals because the people doing the appeals, seems that the judges are much more sane. What these super radical left judges are doing to our country, it's incredible. But if you take a look, Maduro sent hundreds of thousands and even millions of people from jails, from prisons, from mental institutions, drug dealers, drug addicts, everybody. He said anybody with a problem to it, it can never be forgiven. And other countries have done the same, but nothing like Maduro's done.
During your campaign, you talked about ending American foreign intervention. What changed your mind with Venezuela? What kind of grew your interest in it?
The fact that he sent drugs into our country, we're stopping it rapidly with what we're doing with the sea, because they come in, a lot of it comes in by sea, but it's not coming. The drugs coming in, as I said before, by sea are down 97%. You should be saying, thank you very much, President Trump. Great job.
Listen, we're about probably 5 to 10 years away from these politicians just saying what the fuck is actually going on. He's saying because of the drugs and shit, man, because we wanted that shit, man. We're about 5 years away from hearing the politicians when they ask them questions like, what gave you the, why did you, man, because we fucking wanted the shit, man. We could say it's drugs, we could say, look, man, because we fucking wanted the shit, lady, get out of my face, man. We're about 5 years away from that shit, what? Mark my words.
Now they can't get anybody to pilot those boats. You know, it's 97%. I'm trying to figure out who are the other 3%.
Would you say that Operation is all?
What's your response to supporters who voted for you, who may be glad and relieved to see Maduro in custody?
The voters that voted for me, yeah. Let me just tell you, the voters that voted for me are thrilled. They said, this is what we voted for.
So let's just think about it. What is the right response when a country sends in tens of thousands of people to overwhelm your system? When a country is a narco-terrorist state that floods your country with cocaine.
He said, what is the response when they empty the borders with their terrorists and they narco state? I don't know, but the response I definitely wouldn't give is take all their fucking resources. I'm just gonna be all the way honest, Chad. I'm not saying I'm mad at it. You know, it is what it is. It's the new Monroe Doctor 2.0, man. But that's not the answer I would have gave you, sir. I wouldn't have said, let's go control their 17 trillion in oil. Let's see what's up with the Bitcoin and let's get to the silver and the other precious. That wouldn't be the response that I would think. But hey, man, we're here now. It is what it fucking is.
That's aligned with Hezbollah. What's the right response? You blow up the boat before they get here. You take down the source of the problem. President Trump didn't wake up one day and say, hey, let's take Venezuela. He did what other people talked about but didn't have the balls or the guts to do it. This is a good thing. This is not interventionism. This is making America safer. We're going to be more prosperous because of the business deals. There are going to be Americans alive today because he shut down a narco-terrorist state called Venezuela. This is a good thing, not a bad thing.
And the oil companies are going to go in and rebuild their system. They're going to spend billions of dollars, and they're going to take the oil out of the ground, and we're taking back what they stole. Remember, they stole our property. It was the greatest theft in the history of America. Nobody has ever stolen our property like they have. They took our oil away from us. They took the infrastructure away. And all that infrastructure is rotted and decayed. And the oil companies are going to go in and rebuild it. We're not going to spend very much money at all, if anything. But the oil companies are going to go, we're going to take our oil back. But we're going to also do things that...
Yeah, JP Morgan Chase is financing it, man. They're financing this shit. The DOD is going to have 40%. I'm talking about over the smeltering facility. Because after they go over there and pull all of this shit out, the oil will probably go to Texas and somewhere else to get refined. They say Exxon and whoever's going to go in there and rebuild and shit. But if y'all think they're going to wait on it to be rebuilt before they start, no, hell no. They're going to ship that shit to Texas, man. Send that bad boy to Texas, man. Reroute the oil tanker to Texas, man. And then when it comes to the other shit, the precious metals and the rare earths that he says is not so rare anymore, that shit's finna go to Tennessee, man. Shit's finna go to Tennessee. South Korea's gonna get a little cut. The Department of War is gonna get about 40%, man. And it just is what it is. J.P. Morgan Chase financing the deal, man. $7.4 billion. It's talking about they gonna take in 1.1 million tons of raw materials a year. Pump out about 500,000 tons of finished product.
When you look at what he did, the drugs are terrible, but also terrible. He sent hundreds of thousands of people into our country that should not be here. And that means from prisons, that means Tren de Aragua, the gang, Tren de Aragua, that comes out of Maduro's country. He was very friendly with that gang. Well, they're having a hard time right now. You know, we had Tren de Aragua all over Washington, D.C., and they got the hell beat out of them. Washington, D.C. is the safest city right now in the United States. Thank you very much,
Mr. President, if you had to sum up Operation Absolute Resolve,
damn, she got to ask like 7 questions.
Or it was about regime change?
It's about peace on Earth.
How is it peace on Earth?
Peace on Earth. We got to have peace. It's our hemisphere. The Monroe Doctrine was very important when it was done, and other presidents, a lot of them, they lost sight of it. I didn't. I didn't lose sight. But it really is. It's peace on Earth. Thank you very much.
All right. You said, how do you run a country with no boots on the ground? Trump said he's not opposed to putting boots on the ground, man. When it comes to this $17 trillion worth of oil, man, you know Trump don't give a damn about putting some boots on the ground, man. It's for the chicken, bruh. Come on, chat. Let's be honest.
But you're never too busy.
Let me get y'all out of my business. I gotta get us to the ad-free version. Yeah, Trump said he's not opposed to putting boots on the ground, man. I think that they let the this is what I think. They put.
Welcome back, and joining me now is House Democratic leader.
They're putting Venezuela, the vice president, in a tough position. They're putting her in a position where she can't win. They're gonna make her bend the knee. They're gonna make her kiss the ring, give up that 17 trillion in oil rights, all of that shit, so she can run her country. They know that the people around her and the country, some other people in the country, is not gonna go for that shit. They're not gonna go for that shit. They know that she is a regime loyalist, so that's why they keep saying, "Hey, we'll go back in there if we have to." That's subtly putting pressure on her. Like, hey, damn, she's thinking, like, if I go against these people, they're going to cut my head off right here, whatever. If I go against Trump and them, they're talking about they're going to come in, do me like they just did Maduro, and escort me the fuck up out of here. They're putting pressure on her, some shit finna go on, so now, after that, they can appoint somebody from the United States, whether it be an army general, whether it be Rubio or somebody, then they can appoint somebody, and it goes over a lot better. It's like, hey, we tried to do things the right way and let the second in command take control, but it didn't work out. So now we're gonna put who we want there for about 7 to 10 years while we extract all of these resources, and then we'll go the judicial way and find out who's going to be the replacement after we got everything rocking and rolling that we fucking need. So it's either she's going to kiss the ring and get in fucking line, or there's going to be somebody appointed. It is what it is.
Hakeem Jeffries of New York. Leader Jeffries, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Gardner, man. I hope you have a good night, man. We'll see you on the next one. I hope you subscribe to the channel. And I'm finna open up the phone lines in a minute, chat. After we watch this clip right here, it's like 8 minutes. I'll open up the phone lines, take some calls, get y'all thoughts and opinions. And if y'all have any questions for me or want to debate a little bit, we can. It is what it is.
Thank you for being here. We obviously have to start with the capture and indictment of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. You have called him a, quote, criminal and authoritarian dictator who has oppressed the people of Venezuela for years. Is Venezuela better off without Nicolas Maduro in power?
Well, he's a bad guy, of course, and he's going to stand trial in the American court of law at this particular point in time. It remains to be seen whether the people of Venezuela are going to be better off. Donald Trump claims that he's going to run Venezuela. He's done a terrible job running the United States of America. Life hasn't gotten better for the
Start with the capture and indictment of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. You have called him a, quote, criminal and authoritarian dictator who has oppressed the people of Venezuela for years. Is Venezuela better off without Nicolas Maduro in power?
Well, he's a bad guy, of course, and he's going to stand trial in the American court of law at this particular point in time. It remains to be seen whether the people of Venezuela are going to be better off. Donald Trump claims that he's going to run Venezuela. He's done a terrible job running the United States of America.
I had to go back and re-listen to it, chat, to make sure I heard what the fuck I heard, man. Like, oh, how does this come all the way back to what the hell is Donald Trump's doing a bad job running America, man? She asked you, are the people in Venezuela better off with or without Maduro, man? You said that's yet to be seen, but you was just talking about how fucking bad he was, and he was a horrible drug trafficking narco president. It's like, God, when it comes to party loyalty, people will bite their damn tongue and not even state the fucking obvious shit that they just said because it just burns their soul or it hurts or something, bro. Like, what? It's yet to be seen and shit, man. It's yet to be seen.
Life hasn't gotten better for the American people over the last year. Life has gotten worse. He promised to lower the high cost of living. Costs haven't gone down. They've gone up. The healthcare system is broken. Donald Trump refuses to do anything about it to address the Republican healthcare crisis. So the notion that he's going to run Venezuela.
This man talking about healthcare and some more shit, man. She asked him, were the Venezuelans going to be better off without Maduro in power, man? And this man is talking about some whole other shit, bro. Hakeem, this is the problem I have with you. It's just, you're the minority leader, man. You do the fucking talking for the Democrats, bro. Like, you do the talking, man. Nobody really want to hear Schumer and the man. Like, come on, Hakeem. Like, between Hakeem Jeffries and Mike Johnson, I watched them get up there and talk for like 40 days straight. Every single time I watched this man talk, I said he just is almost there. He just got to get it together. He talk a little too fast, and I don't know if he's nervous or what, but it's just, and now it's just like, dude, you doing the same shit Trump and them do. Like, she asked you a question, and you go on this tirade about how bad Trump is and about healthcare and some more shit, man. She asked you, was the Venezuelans better off or not, dude?
And
Shit
make life better for the Venezuelan people, of course, is belied by the facts as to what he's done as president here in the United States of America.
Well, you just heard my conversation with Secretary Rubio. I asked him about the administration's decision not to inform Congress ahead of this operation until President Maduro had been captured. Secretary Rubio saying this was not the kind of mission where they could have afforded to notify Congress. There were concerns about leaks. He made that point. President Trump made that point. Was the administration justified in this case in not briefing Congress?
Well, there's been no evidence that the administration has presented to justify the actions that were taken in terms of there being an imminent threat to the health, the safety, the well-being, the national security of the American people. This was not simply a counter-narcotics operation. It was an act of war. It involved, of course, the Delta Force, and we're thankful for the precision by which they executed the operation and thankful for the fact that no American lives were lost. But this was a military action involving Delta Force, involving the Army, apparently involving thousands of troops, involving at least 150 military aircraft, perhaps involving dozens of ships off the coast of Venezuela and South America. So of course this was a military action, and pursuant to the Constitution, only Congress has the power to declare war, to authorize acts that take place in this regard. And we've got to make sure when we return to Washington, D.C., that legislative action is taken to ensure that no further military steps occur absent explicit congressional approval.
All right, well, let's talk about when you return to Washington, D.C. One of the big topics at the forefront of Congress will be, of course, the fight over these Obamacare subsidies. They expired just days ago. The House set to vote on a 3-year extension of those subsidies. But as you know, Senate Majority Leader John Thune has said it's a non-starter in the Senate. Why are you putting forward a bill that has absolutely no chance of passing the Senate?
Well, let's take it one step at a time. We've got to make sure that a straightforward extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits passes out of the House upon our return next week, so we can protect the health care of tens of millions of Americans who are about to experience dramatically increased health insurance premiums, copays, and deductibles. In some instances,
it's like, this nigga's like a robot, bruh. This nigga's like a robot, bruh. Like he's reading the teleprompter that hard, his fucking neck doesn't even move, Chad. Like this nigga's like a real robot here, bro. Is this a Tesla bot? Like, he's so locked in on the teleprompter, the only thing moving is his mouth and his fucking eyes blinking. He's not, like, he's locked in, bro. Like, what?
Americans who are about to experience dramatically increased health insurance premiums, copays, and deductibles. In some instances, health insurance costs will increase by $1,000 or $2,000 per month. That's completely and totally unacceptable. And Republicans have a responsibility to partner with us as Democrats to stop it, to protect the health care of everyday Americans, working class Americans, and middle class Americans. Now, when we successfully pass this bill out of the House of Representatives, we know that there's a bipartisan majority in the Senate. Every single Senate Democrat and at least 4 Senate Republicans who support a straightforward extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits. The votes exist to pass it in the Senate, absent procedural hurdles that John Thune is erecting, because Republicans apparently have no interest in protecting the health care of everyday Americans. They'd rather protect the interests of big oil and their billionaire donors, which is why they enacted massive tax breaks as part of their one big ugly bill.
Well, let me ask you, because as you know, we are 26 days away from another potential government shutdown on the heels of the longest shutdown in U.S. history. Would you support another government shutdown over this battle over healthcare subsidies?
Said from the very beginning, first of all, we need to resolve this issue within the next week or so, protect the health care of the American people, and then continue to fix our broken healthcare system and address the Republican healthcare crisis that's devastating everyday Americans, including as a result of the fact that they enacted the largest cut.
Hey, chat, look, we 13 subscribers away from the next sub goal. We need a quick 13 subscribers, man. Double tap the screen, shut the live out. Do not gatekeep this channel. We go live every single day over here talking politics, entertainment, and current events. Yes, I am a little tipsy, but it's okay. I'm finna open up the phone lines, but we need 13 subscribers, man.
Medicaid in American history. Now, we've also said, as it relates to the appropriations process, that we will sit down anytime, any place with anyone in order to find a bipartisan path forward to enact a spending agreement that actually makes life better for the American people. As Democrats, we're committed to driving down the high cost of living that exists in this country. Donald Trump promised on day one of his presidency that Republicans would lower costs. Costs haven't gone down. Costs have gone up. Housing costs out of control. Grocery costs out of control. Utility bills out of control. Healthcare costs out of control. We're committed to actually addressing the needs of the American people. That's one of the problems with this action in Venezuela. How does it actually improve the quality of life of everyday Americans? How is it in America's national security interest? Why doesn't Donald Trump and their administration focus on dealing with the affordability crisis? That is not a hoax. It's very real, and something meaningful needs to be done about it. That's the Democratic commitment.
Leader Jeffries, let me ask you, because Tuesday marks the 5th anniversary of the January 6th attack on the Capitol. House Democrats are planning to hold a hearing criticizing President Trump's decision to pardon all of the rioters. And I wonder, is there anything tangible that you anticipate coming from this hearing, or is this hearing for show?
It's a substantive hearing. It'll be about the concerns that have been raised by people all across this country as to the fact that on his first day in office, Donald Trump pardoned hundreds of violent felons who brutally attacked the Capitol and beat police officers, more than 140 who were seriously injured. Psychological and physical damage that was done that is permanent in nature, and it was all part of Donald Trump's effort to halt the peaceful transfer of power, which is one of the bedrocks of American democracy. We're in our 250th year of representative government. Our democracy is not perfect, but it's a glorious thing, and it fundamentally has to be protected and preserved. So at minimum, on this 5th anniversary of that horrific attack on the U.S. Capitol, we're going to address issues of concern related to ensuring we continue to have free and fair elections. We've got to get rid of this compliant Republican Congress who function like a reckless rubber stamp for Donald Trump's extreme agenda, as opposed to actually trying to enact policies that make life better for the American people. That's at the essence of our democracy. And so on Tuesday, it'll be an important hearing. We'll hear from Americans from across the ideological spectrum about the horrors of January 6th and why we've got to make sure that something like that never happens again.
All right, very busy time in this new year on Capitol Hill. We'll be tracking all of it. Leader Jeffries, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, and Happy New Year.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on...
All right, Hakeem. All right, Chad, we got the phone lines open. Also, I made a video about it earlier. I made a long form video. If y'all go to the videos on the channel, I told y'all I'm gonna try to be more consistent. I uploaded a video, but in Burkina Faso, they're alleging that they tried to overthrow that Ibrahim Traoré. I think that's how you say the name. The leader, the one that basically told France to get the hell up out of there, man. Made France get all of their people out of that region, man. I believe it was the military up out of there. But long story short, they tried to do a coup over there. They're alleging that France was involved and Western nations were involved and applied to unalive him for regime change to bring the old leader back, man. But I do got the phone lines open if anybody wants to call in. What else do we got? Rubio talking. It was all miscellaneous clips. We can watch those miscellaneous clips tomorrow. Yeah, we'll watch those miscellaneous clips on the morning show. The Department of War announces a $2 billion investment into the smelter to process critical minerals. $7 billion total bill. So the Department of War is announcing $2 billion. I guess that $2 billion is coming from the CHIPS Act. And I think JP Morgan Chase is going to finance the rest. And yeah, they're finna extract that silver, probably gold, out of Venezuela. Bring the raw materials here and, filter it out, do whatever they need to do to get it ready. Also, this is going to help us get the critical, the rare earth minerals needed to do the chips. So, the CHIPS Act, I would assume that that's why, the CHIPS Act is going to be funded. Because not only is it going to get the precious metals, it's going to get the things needed to get the chips. That's going to help boost our AI. And start making the chips, I guess, in America. Will White, good show, man. Yeah, nobody wants to call in, so we are finna get up out of here, chat. I'm gonna get off of here and I'm gonna curate the morning show. I'll try to be back in the morning, chat, about before 7:30. 7:30 Central Time. I really want to be up about 6:30 Central Time on live, but we'll shoot for the 7:30 Central Time in the morning, and we'll cover the miscellaneous clips and some more of what's going on with Venezuela, also Iran. We didn't cover Iran a lot today, but we'll get into that Iran in the morning, chat. I hope everybody has a great night. Double tap the screen, share the live out. Most importantly, before you get out of here, mods, drop the Discord. We have a free Discord. This Discord will cost eventually. Not if you get in it while it's free forever. You know what I'm saying? If you get in it while it's free forever. But if you don't get in it before March is the start of my third year doing this channel. March is the start of the third year of this channel, and that Discord will cost something to get into. It'll cost a one-time fee. Don't know what the one-time fee gonna be, man. It might be a 10 spot. It might be a dub, man. Inflation, tariffs. So get in while it's free, man. And come hang out with us. We do weekly calls. We do weekly calls in the Discord. Damn, I didn't mean to pin that. I'll try to pin the Discord. But we do weekly calls in the Discord. We have fun in the Discord. We got many different tabs. Some people just hang out in the Discord all night. You might meet your best friend in the Discord, somebody you never knew in the Discord. It's, like I said, man. Sometimes I wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning and it's a Discord full of people. They in there having a good ass time. I be done fell asleep, man. It is what it is, man. Join the Discord while it is free, though. While it is free, because y'all are gonna act like I'm acting funny and old plug Hollywood now he charging to join the damn Discord. Yes, I'm damn sure gonna charge because it's gonna be the third year, and we got a long time till May. So every single episode between now and May, I'm gonna say join the Discord while it's free. So in May, y'all don't act surprised, man. Don't act surprised. We got some big things coming for the Discord. Double tap the screen, shut the live out. Who called my phone, man? Somebody called in. Let me call them back.
Hey, Plug, what's up?
What's going on? Where you calling from? What's your name, man?
You hear me?
Yeah, I can. I said, what's your name, caller? Where you calling from? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, he might not have been able to hear me, man. Let me see. Maybe I need to call him back. Maybe my shit was fucked up. Let me see, chat. Oh, man, this messed up. I'm going to call you right back, man. I'm going to call you right back. Hold on, chat. Man, I don't know why it always does that, man. I'm trying to call the caller back, get him on the call, man. Y'all give me 1 second. Let me get the caller back in here.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. We obviously...
All right, let me call the caller back, man. See what's going on with the damn phone line. Allow. Yo, caller, can you hear me? Hello?
Hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello. I don't know, Chad. I don't know, Chad, man. I don't know, Chad. I tried, man. Thank you, Captain America. Appreciate the productive chats, debates, and commentary. Shout out to Plug for hosting. Thank you, Captain America. I tried to call the caller back. I don't know what's going on with the damn phone lines, chat. He's saying he can't hear me. Man, let me see if I can call Top Cat. Man, maybe Top. If Top Cat can hear me, I know it's not my phone. I'm finna call Top Cat. Thank you, Bruce Young. Thank you, Xed. Oh, Top Cat not answering. I'm just letting that motherfucker ring. Let's call Dorsey then. Alright. Dorsey and Top Cat didn't answer. I couldn't get the caller on the line, man. XX, that was you that was calling, man. Who called in, man? XX, was that you that called, man? I don't know, man. But yeah, I couldn't get Dorsey or Trump on the line, man. Yeah, Captain America, you have to get on the line one of these days. I'm gonna do panels too, man, where y'all can come up and we can all just have a good conversation together. I'm gonna do some panels too. But yeah, chat, we're finna get up out of here, man. I'm finna curate the morning show, and I'll see y'all in the morning, man. I hope everybody has a great night. Do not gatekeep this channel. Be sure to join that Discord. If the link is not clickable, this Discord link is not clickable, I tell you guys all the time to make sure that you screenshot the chat. If you screenshot the chat, the link will be clickable, man. If you screenshot the chat, the link will be clickable. You screenshot this chat right here. Hold on. Boom. Screenshot that chat and you go to your pictures. If you go to your camera roll, that Discord link will be clickable, bring you right to the Discord, man. I see